What up, guys? This is episode 106 Fabian from 3D HQKC. I think you can start a song with that. 3D headquarters in Kansas City. So he does the 3D printing. I've had him on before. One of the smartest people I've ever met. And that's why I wanted him on the podcast to have some smart, intellectual conversation. We had some Buffalo Trace whiskey and a really good time. I don't know what else to say about this episode, and this was just a really good time. And if you like podcasts, and especially if you like this podcast, I promise you this is going to be one of your favorite episodes. Enjoy the show. Oh, shit. I should say one more thing. ThePitchKC.com. The Pitch Awards is going on right now, the nomination process. So if you go to ThePitchKC.com, or if you go on to my Instagram, my bio, there's a little link in there. Click on there, go to Arts and Entertainment, scroll down to Best Local Podcast, and nominate Neander Talk Podcast. That's it. Enjoy the episode, guys. This was a blast. One of my favorite episodes in a while. Here we go. Boom, schlock, boom.
Welcome to the Inner Talk Podcast. We'll no topic is off limits. Now here's your host, my daddy, and Roy the Soul. Thank you for coming to the Inner Talk Podcast. Boom, schlock, boom.
1, 2.
We're live in 3, 2, 1. Shout out to Buffalo Trace. Fabian, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here.
Good to be back, man. Thank you for having us.
Hell yeah. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
This
One
official on camera. Cheers.
Cheers, Charles. This is Uptown right here.
Uptown Funk, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Uptown, baby. Uptown. Welcome back. Yeah, it's been a few months since you were here. And I told you then, like, I need a resident smart person for the podcast. And you're my resident smart person. You're one of the smartest people I may have met.
Well, thank you, man. Appreciate being on here. You know, it's a lot of fun, and yeah, man, it's good to be back. A lot's changed since the last time we talked.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure, right? COVID.
Yeah,
I saw that you guys are doing what you can with that with your 3D masks.
yes, yeah. So you know, one of the big things for us,
You guys were early on that.
we tried to be. You know, I think that we focus a lot on problems. You know, I think the last 5 years are a great example of that. We just keep talking about the problems. At 3DHQ, we started moving into the solution mentality. We know what the problems are. You know, we get it. Let's start working on solutions, right?
You're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution.
There you go. Yeah. So when COVID hit, it was like, what can we do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the main things of what we're known for wasn't going to do us any good in COVID. You know, you can't print 3D figurines for people and save lives or whatever. So we
Right.
started looking at it, man, and it was, you know, solution minded and then teamwork. So yeah, man, the masks, other protective equipment. I think that we've seen the rest of the industry also do that. You know, so it's exciting to see.
The rest of the 3D printing industry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that was something that when COVID was on the rise, especially like in China, obviously, and then once it started hitting Europe, and we started talking, well, what happens if it makes it to the U.S.? And like,
When?
Yeah, exactly. Like, when is it going to happen? And honestly, I thought it wasn't going to be until summer. I thought it was going to arrive later, hit a lot sooner than that. But we also focus on silver linings, right? So it's what good has come out of these really trying moments in our recent history. And one of them for the industry, the 3D printing industry is, if you didn't know about it before, you definitely know about it now, because you saw a lot of mainstream news out there for everything like little kids printing face shields for their local hospitals.
Oh,
People
really?
getting involved. Yeah, man, it's a grassroots movement, which is awesome.
I don't watch mainstream news, so I didn't see those stories.
Absolutely.
Shit pollutes your mind, man. I got to stay away from.
It's like junk food, right? You also have to filter the content that you're absorbing because there's a lot of it out there.
I get news and stuff. You know, I stay informed, but I don't go anywhere near Fox, CNN, MSNBC, AB, nothing. And
Yeah.
it just, they've burned us
Yeah.
too many times.
Yeah.
You can't get caught into these many lies and expect us, at least don't expect me to come back to you for anything.
Sure.
I'm like, well, who knows what I can trust?
So that's a really good point. So I think that a lot of people in our society feel that way. So then the question becomes, where do we go for trusted information?
Mm-hmm.
Who can we trust? You know, because journalism was built to be that fourth wall.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to inform us. But I think that, there's a lot that goes into that corrupted the industry. Its business model is one of them, right? So just whenever you have advertisers influencing stories, or the people who own the paper influencing the way that the story's written, it leads to this ultimately. So again, now it's like, so what do we do now? Maybe it's grassroots, kind of like podcasters, right? Where it's like you can start going to other people for sources of information, but it's still important to fact check. Where are they getting their information from? Can you correlate it to studies that have been proven? Because at the end of the day, at least for me, I'm going to believe in the scientific method, right? Like that's how we've gotten this far. So I'm not just going to abandon ship.
But what do you do with all those science deniers out there? And it's on both sides.
It is.
It's on both sides.
So I've been thinking a lot about that. I think that we just let them talk it out, right?
There's no talking. I mean,
not between themselves, but you should, if you're opposing my view, if we have conflicting points of view, then maybe it's more important, instead of getting into a debate and becoming master debaters. Shout out Denzel Washington. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. Anyways,
I missed what I missed that reference.
It to me it sounds like masturbate, so I make the joke, but it's an actual movie. It's called Master Debaters.
Okay.
It's with
that's an
The
old
Great
school
Debate.
joke.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's an old school movie. It's from like
No,
the
that's an old
2000s.
school. That's an old school joke.
Yeah.
Oh, master debater.
Yes.
And then of course, if you're a fisherman and you use bait, I'm a master baiter.
Yes, there we go,
Yeah.
dude. We get it.
We're children, everybody. We're children.
That's it, man. We talked about how children will save the world. Shout out Coca-Cola. Still waiting on that sponsorship.
I am still waiting on that. I've kissed that one goodbye. Now I'm on the Buffalo Trace. And anyone else, look, I'm cheap, people. You want to sponsor me? Come be my first sponsor. No chiropractor companies. But things I actually believe in.
There you go. And so back to that point, like how do you have that civil discourse? I think that, again, man, it's more important for us to listen and then just ask the questions. Let's let each other talk to the point where we're worn out. Like maybe sometimes I just need to hear why I believe these things. And then eventually it clicks. It's like, oh shit, that doesn't make any sense at all. Maybe it's time for me to retrace my steps and figure out how to get back on the right path.
It's very difficult the way social media and stuff is set up because, as we're talking about the news and what drives the news, a lot of it is clickbait now.
Yep.
And a lot of it is things that get you riled up, what angers you, what pisses you off, because it's going to get your engagement up. And that's what these newspapers and journalists are trying to do now.
Yeah.
And it's not a good place to go. And it's just an easy way for these people to form echo chambers.
Yeah.
And I think that's where social media and everything is taking us down this road where we're not being able to have these civil debates like you want because we get in these echo chambers.
And we get super emotional.
Yeah. And then you get the extremes. They just start, they get in an echo chamber and it just keeps gradually moving either left or to the right or whichever way it's going.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can't have this civil discourse. It just becomes, well, you're racist. Oh, well, you're, whatever.
Yeah.
You're, baby killer. You're this or that. It's just.
Absolutely. And name calling like
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, and then you get to the point where you're so pissed off that you storm out of the conversation more entrenched in your beliefs than you were before. Cause it's like, see, I told you that baby killer was like that or that racist was like that, instead of truly listening to what they're saying. Cause I think at the end of the day, we all want the same things, right? Like we all just want a house, a roof over our heads.
Most of us.
Yeah.
But there are those people that, that movie, the Batman movie, Bruce Wayne's, who's Wilford? What's the Bruce Wayne's guy? Alfred. He goes, some people just want to see the world burn.
That's right.
And you do get a lot of those people out there that they're anarchists. Well, maybe anarchist isn't the right word. Anarchists don't really like violence, but people that just want to see the world burn. I I just want to see what happens.
I feel you, man. And I think that regardless of what we do, there's always going to be that in nature.
Right.
Right? Like there's always going to be that subset that just want to watch the world burn. And then that's where it's like, all right, cool. If that's already part of the equation, how do we either cancel it out or, what?
Minimize it.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Not make it so popular.
There you go. And then that's that part of that echo chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
crowd mentality, especially when you start seeing these protests turn into riots.
Totally, man. We're down on the plaza. So
I want to talk to you about that, yeah.
Absolutely. So we've been on the ground. Whenever you want to get to that part of the conversation, let me know. And I can give you at least our point of view and how it's impacted business on our end.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to. I don't want to talk too political because I don't want you to have to defend anything. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I don't want to be controversial. You have a business. I'm not going to put you in that kind of position.
Sure.
But I would like to know from a witness standpoint. I mean, your store is on the plaza in Kansas City. For those that are not listening in Kansas City right now, that's kind of the hub where a lot of protests begin. There's a big fountain down there. It's like the rich area. It tends like rich shopping district, nice kind of upper end area. But there's a big fountain there, and that's where protests for years. That's where people just gather around.
Yeah.
And so the George Floyd protests were no different. Everybody started protesting there. I never went down there.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
But so you guys have your business is down in that area in the plaza. So what was that like when the first day happened? Were you down there? Like,
Yeah.
were you expecting it?
Not really, man, to be honest with you. So it was, it is historically a place where people go and protest. J.C. Nichols has a lot of rooted history in Kansas City. I think that it's important if you're curious of how that plays out to go look at it. But yeah, man, when it hit, it was pretty wild. We didn't expect it. Like, tensions were rising. This was probably like, 4 or 5 weeks, maybe a little longer now. But I remember that Friday, we had trainees in the store. We were trying to get back to normal, as whatever that means. And it was just another day, to be honest with you. So that Friday, it was just another day. And I think that we got an email from Plaza Management, and that was the first thing that was kind of like the red flag or, sounding of the alarms. So my background is in journalism, and even before that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, man. So before, my business partner Nick and I got together to collaborate on 3D HQ.
Shout out to Nick.
That's right, man. Cool guy. You guys should come check him out at our store. But before we got involved in this, I ended up getting one of my dream jobs out of school, and it was covering emerging economies abroad, right? So I got to go to places like Ethiopia or Oman or Dubai, or I did projects in Ukraine. And during those times, when I was in Ethiopia, Libya had just started the Arab Spring.
Oh, wow.
When I was in Ukraine in 2011, they had just started their civil war, which then turned into a war with Russia. Mm-hmm. So anyways, and then meanwhile in the US, we had the 1% protest on Wall Street, right? So then that seems like a lifetime ago. That was 10 years ago. But these things, this just didn't happen. These protests, it's not like overnight. It was like, oh my God, there's all these people on the plaza. What's this about? Mm-hmm. But that Friday was my kind of first sense of like, hey, there might be a big gathering at J.C. Nichols Park. And I was like, oh, really? So I hit the pavement, and I was like, I want to see what my neighbors are doing. I want to get a sense of what the community is feeling about this, right? Because we rile each other up, right? Just like in our echo chambers, but in real life. Mm-hmm. So I'm walking around the plaza, and I'm starting to see big companies like Starbucks, Foot Locker, Nike wasn't one of them, but it was bigger companies that were like, you know what, we're going to take this serious. So it looked like they were setting up for a hurricane. They were boarding up Friday before anything had even happened, before protests had even started in Kansas City.
Because they've been through this before.
There you go, man. They were anticipating, right? So we went back and we had a discussion. It was a team meeting. It was like, all right, guys, like, what do we do? Let's run through every scenario, right? So we have these brainstorming sessions where it's like, no bad idea, just throw it out there. Let's get every possibility on the table, and then let's start sifting through it and figuring out like which one makes the most sense for us.
Okay.
And so that Friday night, we were like, you know what? We're going to put our printers in the back and we're just going to take our chances. Actually, no. I'm sorry. That Friday night, we didn't do shit. We were like, whatever, this is going to be no big deal. And that night, the protest had started marching down 47th Street. The next Saturday is when I saw more people start to board up. And
what happened that first night? Was there any...
There was no vandalism. There weren't any broken windows. I don't think graffiti had started at that point. There was nothing that actually happened.
What were people doing? Just walking around yelling and carrying signs and just that?
That's it, man.
Okay.
You know, again, like the chance.
Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
Dude, what it's
Welcome
meant to
to
do.
America.
That's right, man.
Do it up.
The Fourth Amendment, you know, like go out there and peacefully protest.
Amen.
You know, and then so Saturday it got a little more real, and we started seeing a little more people putting up and preparing for what could be a bigger night. And that was when we decided, you know what, we're going to put all of our equipment in the back room and lock the door and just take a chance. Sunday morning, I get a call from my coworker, Finn, and he's like, hey, we survived the night, but our neighbors are fucked. Like their windows were busted. I mean, Fogo de Chao had multiple windows busted. Our entire line, like I actually found a video on Reddit that somebody had posted, and it was like Black Hoodie Insurance. And they were filming 47th Street. So we have Ever Eve next to us and a couple of really nice smaller fashion shops. And all of their windows got busted, man. All of them. All the windows across the street at Fogo de Chao, like they got hit super hard, just left and right busted. And so I get this call from Finn. He's like, our neighbor's windows were broken. But for whatever reason, we got super lucky and like they didn't touch the store. They didn't touch our windows. They didn't touch any of it. And on Reddit, you know, I see later that weekend or something, like just by chance, I'm scrolling, you know, and I see somebody post this video of Black Hoodie Insurance, and it's all of these busted windows on 47th Street. And then they pan to us and there's a black hoodie on our doors, you know, and our shop was not touched, you know, so I personally believe in karma. I think that, you know, we...
Whoa.
I know. So I personally believe that...
Who paid somebody?
Dude, right? We got to get insurance agent.
Yeah, you do. You do.
So it was wild, man. Like, you know, that whole solution base, we treat everybody that comes in the exact same, man. We're super excited about this technology. We just want to, you know, encourage people to see what's going on and maybe spark their curiosity. Whatever it was, man, like we got super lucky.
That's awesome. Well, you deserve it. I mean, yeah, karma, whatever you put out there and you're getting back. That's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, I loved your store. I went in there and visited and had a great time. That is a cool little shop for all you guys in Kansas City. You know, I don't know. You guys are open right now?
Yeah.
Go on down there. If you're afraid, just go down during the daytime.
Dude, right?
Go take a picture. They do a little 3D picture in there. You don't have to buy anything. You just go in there, poke around, and see what you would look like in a 3D pose.
Yeah.
You get a little video of it in your email that does a whole little 3D rotation video. It's awesome. It's really cool.
And that's what I'm saying, man. You know,
it's fun. Like, take it. Do it like for something fun to do, something fun and free or cheap to do, but maybe buy a little keychain or something when you're in there, but whatever. Like, I have kids. I'm always looking for shit to do. Bring them in there and that'd be fun.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Kids love, I feel like everybody loves the store, but kids really get it. You know what I mean? So we would love it. Thank you, you know, for the shout out. We would love for you to come in and see what's going on. And then to tie it back into like the protest and that night. So that Saturday, shit went off, right? Again, a lot of busted windows, a lot of graffiti. That was the only night in the last 6 weeks of protest that I'd seen any kind of vandalism. From there, honestly, I think that Kansas City has done an amazing job of sticking to the point, right? Like, what are we trying to accomplish? And we're not going to get this message across and actually create change if we start, you know, giving into distractions like looting and vandalism. Again, man, personally speaking, from a business standpoint, that's what I've seen. That's what I've seen. That's what we've experienced.
That's beautiful.
It is, man.
I don't care. Well, I think, yeah, I don't want to. I'm okay. Yeah, I don't want to get too whatever on my own beliefs either. But I think it's, I don't know. One night of vandalism is fine.
Right?
Dude, you know what I mean?
It's like sometimes you just.
It's fine.
Yes,
it's fine.
Yep.
Portland, on the other hand, when they're at like 58 something days of rioting straight up, that's a different story. But Kansas City, one night of vandalism, that's fine. You got insurance.
There you go, man. So it is what it is. So that's what we've experienced on that end. But yeah, man, it's just crazy to think. I think I was in here in like November, December, somewhere towards like the end of last year, maybe beginning of the year. And then everything that's happened since, the world's gotten a lot bigger and a lot
2020
smaller.
Started off with Australia on fire.
Yes. And the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl.
And the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. Is that that's what sparked it.
It is, man. Yeah, but it's been a wild ride. For sure.
How has business been affected with all this?
Totally.
How about the plaza?
Yes, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that not even I mean, March, April, going into May, everything's locked down. We're still going through that 2-month lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So we shifted to rapid prototyping, so creating things. We started printing masks and other stuff. But instead of having people come into the store to pick it up, we just copy and pasted the restaurant model, and we're like curbside pickup.
Okay.
Give us a call. We'll run it out. We'll wear masks, anything to keep us safe.
Mm-hmm.
And people really responded. Our community really responded. I think it also shows the limitless applications of 3D printing and solving real problems in real time. But to go over and look at, again, the plaza, foot traffic, man, it was like the apocalypse. It was like iRobot. You'd go out into the streets and it's just empty. It's
freaky.
It's
freaky.
It is. It's like a I don't want to say like a waking nightmare, but just like you never would have imagined that this would have happened. And yet here we are.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I since they lifted the ban where we could go back out to bars and restaurants, I've been going out every single weekend and bar hopping. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I took a train to St. Louis for a weekend.
Nice.
And you did some bar hopping there. And then, yes, ever since, it's I don't know where I was going with that. What were we talking about?
Well, I don't think that you're alone because, again, on the plaza, we get to do a lot of primary research and have people coming into the store, right? And I'm curious.
I'm supporting businesses, local businesses. And I'm getting out there, and it is like, yeah, there's people out, but it is creepy. Like, the first weekend I went out, and I went to Liberty Memorial. And the lawn, and you can just see all of Kansas City, and it was just dead. It was like a zombie. Yeah, it was like a zombie apocalypse. There's nobody down there. It's so weird to see a city that's usually hustling and bustling, and there's nobody down there.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool in a weird sense because I am a bit of a, I don't know. I would like to see the world burn, but I'm more closer to, I like a little chaos.
Sure, man.
In the world. I like a little... It's entertainment.
And I don't think you're alone, man. Look at the movies that we've been seeing for the last 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
Right? Like everything from...
But I hate people suffering. I hate these businesses suffering. I hate that.
Absolutely.
In the service industry especially, I used to serve tables, and if I was like dependent on that as my main income, God, this would suck right now.
It would. But I think that it sucks. Sometimes life sucks.
Yeah.
And through adversity... we gain clarity, right? And so I think that this is an opportunity for us to take care of each other, right? Mm-hmm. It would suck to be in a position where your job is no longer not valued, but you can't go and work because people can't go and eat there because they don't feel safe, right? So instead of just being like, well, that's on you.
Or the government shut it down. Yeah.
Absolutely. But this is an opportunity for us to come together as a community and take care of each other, and I'm more of an optimist, and, I'm up in the clouds, and I know that my reality may not resonate with a lot of people. But again, man, I think that what you're doing is, I think it's a good and a bad thing, right? So I think that it's a good thing that you're going out there and supporting it. I think that, it could be a bad thing if we end up spreading more, but at the end of the day, that those are our decisions to make. So that's a good thing ultimately.
Yeah. Look, I started wearing a mask when they made me.
Yeah, there you go. And that's the other thing, it's like it just keeps, it's almost like Pandora's box, man. Like once we open up COVID, it's crazy the other issues that have come out of there. But yeah, man, we'll survive.
No, for sure. Human beings will survive. We've been through worse.
That's right. Way worse.
And we'll definitely go through worse. I mean, 2020 is not over. The Pentagon's releasing more shit about aliens.
Yeah.
And UFOs.
Yeah.
This is just, I have a creative mind. Like other creative minds, I'm sure, aren't thinking anything slightly different than this. Like we had all of a sudden this COVID hit. They're releasing more and more of this UFO info recently. I don't know. What's next?
Right? Bigfoot may run for president.
I'm not worried about that.
The Loch Ness Monster may crawl out of its lake.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe that, or we get visited from another dimension.
Okay.
Interdimensional beings crossed, and I don't know. Like I think that's.
I think you may be onto something, man. So I've seen a lot
scientific,
of
as fantastical, as science fictional as that is. It's, man, I don't know.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, dude. I've seen a lot of movies and shows and content coming out about the multiverse, right? And like kind of time travel and visiting other dimensions. Dude,
NASA just put out something, how possible it is that there's a parallel universe.
Totally.
And except for time going forwards, it goes backwards or something there. Like, this is NASA putting this shit out. Like, we have to pay attention.
Sure.
Like, the Pentagon is putting shit out about UFOs. Like, these videos are coming out. And it's still hard. For me, it's still hard to accept because I want it to be true. I want this shit to be so real, but I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know what these videos are. I guess I trust them, but I don't know. Do I trust them? I don't know if we even went to the moon or not. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
What to believe, what not to believe. I need to see shit with my own eyes or somebody that I trust.
Yep. And I think that's kind of that whole your reference to watching the world burn and that kind of thing. It's manifest destiny. We've seen it in pop culture. We're experiencing it now. It's in a lot of our religious scriptures. I think that there's a lot of us that are like, I want to see this happen. Like, we're this close. Like, let me see if it's real. Like, I want it to be real.
We're from Missouri. It's the show me state.
There you go. That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the world's full of crazy shit that's happening, and I think, wonderful possibilities.
Yeah, I'm open. I'm open to it. I had these paranormal investigators on the podcast recently. Great. It was that's anyone out there looking for a good podcast episode to listen to. I think that was like episode 101. That's a good one. That's like what I'm into, So we've talked aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts.
Yes.
And these guys are into that shit. He's like, "Hey, I'll take you on a paranormal ghost investigation." I was like, "All right, really?" And he took me on one.
That's awesome. How'd it go?
Right down the road.
No way.
Right down the road. It's called the Vale Mansion.
Okay.
It's in Independence.
Okay.
And the history, he told me the history. It was built for like this colonel that was like ridiculously rich. I mean, it's a giant, beautiful house. And his wife killed herself accidentally, I guess. They don't know, but when the ghosts come back, she says she accidentally killed herself on whatever it was, morphine back then or whatever.
Sure.
And then after that, it was like a mental institution where they would do lobotomies and they would kind of torture people, like do all the crazy scientific experiments you would hear about, like all the horrific shit.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like an old person's, like a nursing home for like crazy old people. So it's got this crazy history of like everything you want.
Yeah.
Everything you expect in a haunted place.
Yes.
And you look at it from outside, it's like from built in like, I don't know, 1800s, like
that shit
just post Civil War.
Yeah.
And it already looks. And then they tell you the stories. Oh, it's super active, blah, blah, blah. And I went down there, and the closest thing I got was like some goosebumps.
Yeah.
But they weren't real goosebumps like you typically get. They were different, and they were focused on like my left side.
Interesting.
And it was kind of cool. But it's just goosebumps. I could have been freaking myself out.
Sure, man. Well, and the mind's a powerful thing, you know?
And they were saying the basement's the scariest part. Like, they actually saw a ghost that you can literally see from the waist up, crystal clear. A bunch of people have seen him independently.
Whoa.
And they all say the same. Younger guy in his 20s, short black hair and like a black shirt.
Yeah.
And you can only see torso up. And he walks towards you kind of pissed off looking.
Dude.
And then you freak out and then he just disappears. And so I was like, I want to see that. That's like, okay. That's legit shit. If I fucking see that shit, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm fucking in. You got me for life. I'm an investigator. I'm quitting my job, and I'm going to be a paranormal investigator for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Show
Ghostbusters.
me, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Show me this shit, please. And so we go to the basement, like the first thing. I was like, all right. And there's a couple of us.
Yeah.
And we're all just hanging out together. I'm like, all three of us together?
Yeah.
All right. I don't think the ghost is going to show up when we're all.
We got to split up.
But-
I've seen plenty of ghost movies.
But I was like, all
to
right,
tell
I'll
me
hang
to
out with
split
you
up.
guys. Let's see. And they got these little machines and shit. Nothing's happening. All right, it's not active. We'll go to a different part of the house. And we go to a different part of the house. I'll skip all that stuff. I
Sure.
want to go back to this torso person.
Sure.
And then we go back down again when shit got more active.
Yeah.
Like, we got to one place and the ghost said, get out of here. We said, hey, we'll get out of here. Do you want us to leave? And the ghost said, yes, leave.
Yeah.
And so we left. We went back downstairs and kind of talked for a little bit with all the lights on and like an open non-ghost part.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, let's all go back down to the basement again. So we go down there and still nothing.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's just not active, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, let's go back up. They said, let's go back upstairs. I said, I'm going to stay down here because they said it's super scary. No one stays down there by yourself.
No.
I was like, I'm going to stay down here by
Yeah.
myself. Fucking, I want to see this fucking real
Possess
ghost.
me.
Please do it.
Yeah.
And so I'm all by myself, just sitting down there. They left me go do their thing, and nothing. I'm like, I'm gonna go to this other room, and it's pitch black. It is scary. I mean, it's in the, you know what I mean. So I go. So I go to this other spot, and I'm a little scared, a little freaked myself out, and I sit down, and I'm just in the dark waiting.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of pissed off. I'm like, come on. And so I start like, all right, where are you? Where are you? Is this where you come up? Is this? I'm like, come on, like, I'm like, and I felt silly doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, even though you're all by yourself, I still felt embarrassed that I'm doing this. Like, am I really antagonizing a fucking ghost?
Yep, I am.
I am. I got to see. I had to prove it to myself. If this shit's real, are these people real? Fucking prove it to me. Come on, where are you?
Yes.
And I saw a shadow. I saw this figure. I was like, it kind of freaked me out. I got the goosebumps. I was like, okay.
Working.
Come on, all right. And I'm like, I think my brain might be playing tricks on me. I've hunted enough deer, sat in a deer stand for many hours to know my brain can play tricks on me.
Yep.
Sometimes a squirrel's a fucking deer.
Yeah.
I'm like, and so nothing happened. And I gave it a good long try.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. I went to go see what that thing was, and it was right. It was just a weird paint and brick separation thing that looked funny.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Like, so I went back upstairs and did more shit, and
That's awesome though, man.
it was cool.
That's some Freaky Friday shit right there.
It was cool.
You know? And I think that it's also a great analogy as to like what's happening in the world today. We're all ghost hunters, right? And we all have the ghost that we're hunting. We're like, no, this is the ghost. You know, and I'm sold on it, and we're looking for answers, but because they're not tangible, because we can't hold on to them, because you can't see viruses, you know, I think that it allows us to internalize our own experiences.
Yeah.
You know, and so we can be going through the exact same thing, but because we're different people, we get different takeaways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's some spooky
And there is some
quantum
different,
shit
yeah.
right there.
And there are some different people that find themselves into this field.
Yeah.
The main guy that I was with, he's super open-minded, and he's like, I don't know what to believe. He goes, he's more open-minded and not like concrete. Yes, these are ghosts, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there was another guy we were with, and this guy wants it to be true.
Yep.
So bad.
Yep.
Every little noise.
Yeah. See? That was it.
Something moves out of the corner of his eye. Guys, I just saw something.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I saw something. I know it was. I heard something. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I think I heard a woman crying. Like, I didn't hear shit. No, really. It's like, okay. And he just wanted to be. He's just, and you get that kind of. I think with these areas of phenomena, you get these people that want it so bad that they convince themselves.
Sure.
again, placebo effect.
Dude, totally.
These people that believe in ghosts and Bigfoot, and I don't know. I'm not saying they're the same type of people that would believe in chiropractor.
Well, dude, my back is messed up. Dude, doctor says I need a backiotomy. But I think that you have a lot of good points here, Ryan, man. I think, again, so there's this book called Cosmic Trigger, right? And it ties into overall what it is really like the law of attraction. Right, we see what we want to see. We believe what we want to believe. That the further we start investigating and like entrenching ourselves in these ideas, the more that we see, kind of like that guy. And it's like you can connect dots, man. You'll just start connecting the dots. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think that that's the power of the mind. You know.
Yeah. It can be a little too powerful for some people.
Absolutely, and I think
some people. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, maybe dumb people, it's because their minds are actually really, really so smart and advanced. But they're so smart and advanced, they know that dumb person can't handle it, so they throttle that thing way down.
There you go. Right? Like animals in nature, that kind of thing. It's like, I'm just going to focus on eating.
Yeah.
Because I know that all this other shit's going to take, it's going to take me a PhD to understand or whatever.
Yeah. Eating and fucking.
There you go, man. Just horny monkeys. But we digress.
No, I'm saying that's animals. That's all animals think about is eating and fucking and sleeping.
That's a lot of what I think about.
I think a lot about fucking. But eating when I have to. Just give me a protein shake.
Yeah, and I think so.
I'm ready to go again. Come here, baby girl. I'm just kidding.
But seriously, right? Because like in every joke, there's a little bit of truth.
How dare you? Don't call me out like that. There's women listening to this show.
They could be thinking the same thing. But what I'm getting at is to tie it back into COVID and the world that we're living in. Oh man, I just had a brain freeze. But to tie it back into COVID and the world that we're living in, a silver lining is we can slow down, right? Like what is really important in life? Like what do I actually want to do? What do I want to do with my time here? What kind of experiences do I want to have? Yeah. I think that this time has allowed us to really self-reflect,
That is a wonderful theory. And that is the thing most people should be looking at it. However, I don't know. Maybe I'm just pessimistic, Fabian.
That's good. That's why it's good to have this conversation.
But I think when you just look at the data of alcohol sales since COVID started, it's gone up over 300% or 400%. I don't know. This hasn't affected me any. I still go to work. Mm-hmm. It hasn't affected me, thankfully. I'm very thankful and fortunate for that. Yeah. The only thing it's affected is like the podcast numbers are down a little bit, and sometimes guests are scared or whatever. But
sure.
So it hasn't really affected me, but I think a lot of people say that they wanted to do something like, I'm going to use this time to exercise and get in shape or to start that project that I wanted to. But I think a lot of people just, if they would have had the discipline to start that to begin with, they probably already would have. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that did start a few, some people probably did get in shape, but
sure.
I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm being pessimistic, but
I think that you're right on, man. I think it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Because we're people, right? And so we each have decision A or decision B, and half of us go this way and the other half go that way. Mm-hmm. And again, that's okay because what we can do is we can learn from each other. It's like, hey, so when you went that way, like what happened? And the same thing, and that's where we have to bring it back full circle. And it's like, well, if we can combine this information, then maybe it'll lead us to something new.
What do you mean? Society-wise?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Our first conversation, it was a lot of big ideas and theories and going off of that same kind of thing society-wise. Absolutely. I think that this is an opportunity for us to not only reimagine, but honestly take action and recreate the society that we want to live in. Like what's broken? What can we fix?
I don't know. I think it's too big.
Sure. And you're absolutely right, man. It's too big and it's overwhelming, but then, so for me, that means the solution starts on a smaller scale. Instead of going macro with it, and it's like, here's the blanket solution for the whole world, slap it on, it's a bumper sticker, do that, bam, solved. That's not the way it's going to work, man. That's not the way it's going to work. It's too big. We're too diverse. We each have our own echo chamber that's, feeding our own cognitive biases. And it's like, yeah, man, I believe it. And see, my thoughts are vindicated because they believe it too. So you're right. It's too big. So what we have to do is it has to start at a grassroots level. It has to start on a micro scale. It's got to be your community, right? And leading by example and doing it there, small scale, right? And then that starts to propagate, man. That starts to infect other communities. And like, man, well, if they can do it, why can't we?
Yeah. You guys are doing it. You kind of blew over it, but I want to just give you again credit. I remember seeing you guys on top of the mask situation early on, like when people were saying there's a mask shortage or there could be a mask shortage. I remember seeing your post on Instagram saying, "Yo, we got these 3D masks. Come get them." Yeah. That was like, you guys are on it. Like you walk the walk, man. You want some more whiskey?
Yeah. But yeah, man, thank you. And it's not just about us, right? Because like, again, leading by example.
I know, but I didn't feel like you were taking credit for it. I wanted to make sure.
Well, I appreciate it,
you deserve it, man. Like,
and we tied that into, we had seen other things that were going on, and we tied it into, it doesn't just have to be our masks. Like, you can make them at home, and I don't want to get into like the whole mask debate, but thank you. But you know what I mean? Yeah, it's that whole, dude.
Again, Buffalo Trace. Neanderthal Talk podcast brought to you by Buffalo Trace. Go ahead and get at me. Slide in these DMs. Single ladies or married and you want to keep it on the DL, slide in these DMs.
Yeah, baby.
All right, back to the show.
Quick commercial break. I like that. But yeah, man.
And if anybody needs to take a break at any time, let us know. Let me know. We can stop and use the restroom or whatever.
I like that. Cool, man. Thank you. Yeah, dude, it was it's one of those things where, again, that whole solution-based mentality, let's just start to take action, solve the problems that we have at hand, and then that way we can move on to the next one, because there's a lot of big problems that we still haven't dealt with. They're right around the corner, man. That's the next wave. And the next one, we're in the ocean. You know what I mean? This shit's, it's hurricane season. So thank you for giving credit, but I think that overall the industry as well, man, like, again, there's so much shitty things happening in the world that it's really easy to forget about the good things that are going on. And I think that 3D printing is one of those good things that it is very much science fiction, but it's proving that we can solve real problems now, and it doesn't just have to be protective equipment, it's supply chains. That was something big. We started reaching out to hospitals when this shit went down.
Okay.
And we were like, hey, yo, if you can't get that part from your supplier because they have COVID or they can't go to their job, maybe we can help. We can design that for you. We can print it for you right here in-house and send it to you.
Are there some things that you guys aren't allowed to do because of like patent things, and so you just can't do it? Or are there like, never mind, I don't want to.
That's a good question. I got an answer for you if you want it.
All right. I don't want to like ask an incriminating question.
You're all good.
Are there things, how about I'm going to ask this question, but not ask if you partake in this.
Sure.
But are there things out there that are like black market plans, 3D printing plans that, go around the patents of certain things?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So when you look at this industry, its foundation is open source technology.
Right. I remember you saying that.
And that's a beautiful thing, man. Access to information without a gate, without a paywall. Hey, if you want to play, you got to pay.
Right.
This is one of those things where this industry is really revolutionized the way that we look at the world. So instead of being like, I'm an inventor and I made this and now I have a patent, and if you want to use it, you got to pay for it. Not a bad thing, but imagine like if they could also make their money and they throw it up for free to let other people add to it, like societal Legos. Like, hey man, this is a really cool idea, but did you ever think about adding this piece to it? And all of a sudden you have something new. So to talk about current events based on that, right? Satellites, right? Floating around in outer space, all that fun stuff. They have patents. There's a company right now that's working on microsatellites that are 3D printed, and they're testing that shit and it's working. So imagine being able to design and print your own satellite to capture whatever information you want. I know that
civilians?
So yeah, I'm saying like civilians can do it. So black market stuff, right? My mind goes to like sex, drugs, and
how would you even get it up there?
That's what I'm saying. Whoa, dude, be careful. There's women that listen to this show.
That's called hymns
but
and Blue Chew.
But that's a really good question. I don't know how they launched it to outer space, but what I'm getting at is that there's already a company that's printing mini satellites, right? Which is...
Yeah, they're saying, here you go. Here's the plans and print them. It's your job to get them fired up into orbit.
There you go, man. I'm thinking one of those like hot dog cannons that you see at the baseball parks.
Right. Slugger knocked a dude's eye out with that thing once and got sued.
Ooh, dude. I bet that's happened a lot.
Yeah.
I've always wanted one of those things, though. You know?
A cannon or a hot dog?
Both.
I caught a T-shirt at one at a Kansas City Blades game.
Nice.
Old school Kansas City people remember the Blades.
Dude, I remember that, man. They used to throw those sticks.
Did they?
I mean, it was hockey, so I don't know. Maybe I was just trying to come up with.
I don't
something
remember
cool to
sticks,
say.
but
I just meant like they played hockey.
They did play hockey. They were great. They were phenomenal.
They were really good.
They were really good. They were one level below NHL.
Oh wow!
So they had people from the NHL play on the Blades, and people from the Blades go to the NHL.
It's like a farm system in baseball, man. It's
Yep,
like
that's
AAA
what it
ball.
was.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's cool, man. But going back to your thing about
Sorry,
black
we
market,
get derailed here.
I like that though, man. It's good to have tangents, like take a little break,
Yeah.
be like, hey man, let's talk about something else, and then jump back in.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like the patents are concerned, it's one of those things where that's just something that we're going to have to regulate and figure out down the line as this industry continues to grow. But right now, it's the Wild West, man. There's a lot of really cool things, and again, going off silver linings and COVID, I see that you have a lot of CDs here. A lot of new content is coming out, right? And to that same extent, there's a lot of inventors coming out of the woodworks, and they're like, dude, I've had this idea, right? So that 50% that goes the other way, and they're like, I'm gonna do something with this time.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming out and they're like, can you make this? Let's work on this project. I have something, that I've been meaning to do
For the 3D printing world?
but you utilizing 3D printing to manifest their ideas.
Okay.
Right. So it can be anything like it can be in the restaurant industry. It can be in automotive. It can be in construction.
Okay.
These are recent examples of people that we
gotcha.
worked with right here in Kansas City. They're like, I have this idea that could make my life and other people's lives better. Right? The medical field is where it first started, again, with the protective equipment. So that's what we're starting to see a lot of is, again, these creators coming out and they're like, dude, I got this idea.
I do have an idea.
make it?
I've
Let's
had an
hear it.
idea in my head for years, but
Yes.
it won't make sense to you but it has to do with my job. I'm a mailman.
Yes.
And we have these trays where we individually, your address has its own individual slot. It's like 1 inch wide
Okay.
by like maybe 10 inches long.
Okay.
And my whole route is like, I've got like, 800 of those.
Okay.
And then, so I put all the mail in those slots, and then I have to pull it out when it's time to take it to the street. I pull them out of the slot, and in the right order. I hate pulling them out. I want to just be able to pull the whole tray down and be able to take that to the street with me. It would save me so much time. And so there's something I know. I have it in my head on how to create it.
And this is where it starts, man.
Yeah.
It starts with that idea, and then it's like pen and paper. Let's draw it out. And then it's like explain it in 1 or 2 sentences. And that's it, man. Let's go off of that. And then it's iterations, right? Because we're not going to get to our final
and take it to
draft.
someone like you. Are you like a
Yes.
3D engineer?
That's what we are, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a lot of things, but that's one of my favorite things of what we do. It's like collaborating with people like you, where it's like, this would make my life better, and creating a tool, man.
I could make so much money on that fucking thing.
Boom, dude. And that's what it is. It's not about just us making money, or
I'd
even
save
us.
so much time for the post office, and oh my gosh, this is my way to do it right here.
There you go, dude.
This is it. This is my way. This is my way to retire and live how I want to live.
I love that, man. Because see, now you're setting up, now you're doing multiple things at once, right? Like you're solving a bigger problem, and then you're solving smaller problems just by solving the bigger one, right? So the bigger problem is, making the post office more efficient in these kind of situations. Right. And the smaller problem is giving yourself the financial freedom that you need so you can go in and,
blow the podcast. Neandertalk podcast brought to you by 3D HQ. Doing it because I can do it how I want now.
There you go, man.
Next week, we got Joe Rogan on.
That's right. And I think that's part of it, man. You know, part of becoming your own creator and solving your own problems is, listen, dude, there aren't superheroes. Nobody's coming to save us. We save ourselves.
I got to stop waiting for my mom and dad to save me.
That's right.
I got to save myself.
And that can be scary, dude. And this is what we talk to kids about. It's like, yeah, this shit's scary. You know, these problems exist, but we have to face our fears because everything that we've ever wanted in life is on the other side of fear. Right? Boom.
Fear is a motherfucker, isn't it?
Dude, it's
Isn't
one
it
of those basic emotions.
Isn't that funny how we all have fears and we're all able to conquer a lot of different fears, but there's still some fears that we just can't conquer for whatever reason.
Like clowns.
Yeah, are you
Killer
afraid of
clowns from outer space.
Great movie, yeah.
It is. It's like porn without the porn.
Clowns never scared me. I don't care about clowns, but yeah, there's some things that I don't give a shit about clowns. But there's some people they actually have a severe phobia of.
Dude, you're looking at one of them, dude. But I'm a survivor.
What happened?
Dude.
What happened?
So I'll tell you what happened, Ryan. So when I was a kid, I have all these little cousins, and my aunt was like, come over for a sleepover. We're going to rent some movies.
How old are you?
I'm like 6.
Oh, my God. My son's 7. Just turned 7.
There you go.
Okay.
So don't do this. This is a PSA. Don't do this.
Unless you want them to be afraid of clowns.
That's right.
Which might not be the worst thing because in reality, who is a clown? Do you want your child to be around an adult who dresses up like a clown to be around children?
Right?
Think about it.
That's true, man. And like we can get into a deep
Think
dive
about it,
on,
John
like,
Wayne Gacy.
There you go, man. Exactly, dude.
I just lost all my clown listenership.
So get this, man. So my aunt invites me over, and some of my cousins are older than me, and they're the ones picking the movies. And the 2 movies they come back from Blockbuster with. Who remembers Blockbuster?
I miss Blockbuster.
Dude, Friday nights at Blockbuster.
We still have a Hollywood video here and there.
Okay, yeah. And a family video. That's like
that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Family video, not Hollywood. But yeah,
which is cool, man. Like I think that kind of resurgence, man. Like that place. I was gonna
especially now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that would kill it. You know,
that would kill it.
And it's like, and I've seen some of those kind of shops set up in other cities. We were talking about Portland earlier. My sister lived up there for a few years, and we went to this.
Get a little more on that mic.
We went to this super cool like video rental. Anyways, I won't go down that road. So they come back with Blockbuster videos, right? The VHSs.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And the 2 hot picks that they come home with are Killer Clowns from Outer Space and It.
Okay.
The mini
the
series.
Original. Okay.
Yeah, dude. Tim Curry. You know, and I watched like 6 hours of clowns terrorizing people when I was a kid.
At 6 years old, yeah.
Dude, and I was like,
that'll leave an impression on you for sure.
Dude, exactly. And you know, then we go to these events and there's clowns there, and I'm like, I just don't trust these guys.
Weird. Yeah.
Exactly, man. And this is the thing, man. This is the kicker. So my parents are Hispanic. My mom's from Colombia. Dad's from Peru. The reason I tell you that is because as kids, we would go to Colombia for like our summer vacations, right? So I'm in Colombia all summer. And I come back and my dad is like ecstatic.
Hold on. Did anybody else? This guy sounds white as fuck the entire podcast. And then when he says Colombia.
Colombia. Epa. Hey,
is that okay for me to say that as a white guy?
Hell yeah, it is, dude. Hell yeah, it is. Yeah, dude, and that's what I'm saying, man. There's beauty and diversity.
I'm
all
just
that
fucking
fun
with
stuff.
you. I have to fuck with you.
That's good, dude. No, that's good. Dude, keep fucking with me. See what happens, Ryan.
Cash me outside.
That's right. That's right.
I'm from Colombia. You know what we do?
You
know what we do?
We do. We do it all. We do it all. So I come back and my dad's super stoked. He's like, Fabian, I got a surprise for you. You're not going to believe it. And I'm like giddy, dude. Yeah. My mullet's blowing in the wind because the windows are down, and I'm
soccer
just like,
rocker.
Yes, dude. Yes. And we get home, and I fly up to my room, and I'm searching all over. I'm like, what is it? What is it? What is it? I don't see any of it. And I turn around, and my dad's pointing at the light switch, and it's this fucking clown holding balloons. So, dude, and I'm like one of these people that I was like, oh my God, thank you.
Oh, really?
Dude, I didn't say anything because I felt bad. I was like, he was so excited about it. And I have this phobia, but I don't want to like
Oh, wow.
make him feel bad just because of my psychology mess ups.
Wow.
Dude.
That's some deep thinking at an age like that. Wow.
It was weird, dude. And so for the next year, right? Like I'm turning off my lights. And I'm like, that's the last thing I look at. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, how do I overcome this? And so I would go and slap the light switch and then dive onto my bed. Because I was like, the clowns, if they're coming from anywhere, it's under the bed.
Right,
you know, like,
obviously.
Exactly, dude. I figured this. I've seen enough clown shit to
I know how this goes.
Yes, dude. So yeah, man, that was one of those things. You face your fears. Like I can say now, I don't want to say I'm not afraid of clowns. I just don't like them or whatever. But it's one of those things where you face your fears, man. You know, it's like they can be silly shit, right? Like I'm about to be 35 years old. For me to look back at the things that I used to be afraid of, it's a good story. Like I laugh about it. You know what I mean? And I think that's the same kind of thing that we can do now is we have these problems that are super fucking scary, right? And one of the first emotions we pivot to is fear. And fear can quickly turn into anger. You know what I mean? And I think that's why we're so pissed off right now is because we're scared.
Well, a lot of times fear is ignorance, and ignorance breeds fear.
There you
of course.
go. I was ignorant about clowns, man.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
Or were you?
Yeah. Right?
Were you? What's the statistics on clowns good to the pro or pro to the con?
Dude, you remember that's a good question.
Right.
And then I'll hit you with, you remember like a few years ago, this is like 2013, 14, there was all those clowns coming out of the woodworks.
Yeah, I
and,
remember
like,
that.
Just like hanging out in parks at like 3 a.m. You're like, what the fuck, dude? Like this is not where I need to be right now.
It's like in North Carolina or South. It was somewhere in the like southeast like that. Yeah.
It was just happening, man.
I think they were speculating that they were doing that because the new version of It was coming out soon, and I think they were saying it was like a promo for like that.
That's a scary ass promo. It worked.
It worked?
It did. It did, man.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those kind of things. What are some of the things that you're afraid of, or some of the fears that you've overcome?
Well, I just push my fears way deep down in the depths of me, and I just never overcome them, and I just become a
part of you
bad person. Honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know. What am I afraid of? Like, I'm not afraid of anything like that. Like, my shit's probably more deep and personal, like on a personal level, like my own insecurities and darkness. Like I don't struggle. Like I struggle with depression and anxiety, but I've got a pretty good hold on it.
That's good.
And I have for a while without even using medication.
That's good.
So, but like there are like if I want to get deep, like, yeah, I get afraid of getting into like a deep, dark, suicidal depression.
Yeah.
That's something to be afraid of.
Absolutely, man.
But I don't know. I bet if I were to go swimming in the ocean, maybe in the back of my head, I'm like, how close is a shark? But I'd probably be all right.
Yep.
But I don't know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dude, and that's funny because so my rational fear is what I call it. I'm scared of the ocean because I'm not on my turf. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I can't breathe underwater. I don't have fins or gills. So, yeah, dude, if there's a shark or an octopus or, like, some big-ass...
Jellyfish.
Dude, jellyfish, man. A man of war.
Man of war, yeah.
Dude, they bite you. Somebody's got to pee on me to save my life. It's already degrading, you know?
Fabian, I like you, and I would pee on you.
Thank you, man. Dude, you're my Ross to my Rachel.
Yeah, there we go. No, that was Joey. Wait, wasn't it? Oh, wait.
I don't know.
It was Chandler.
Dude. Oh, it's Chandler and
pissed
Monica.
on Monica.
There it is. You're my Chandler to my Monica.
Ah, thank you.
There we go.
Now we know who the top is.
See, and this is why fact checking is so important, you know?
Yes.
We would have been throwing it out there. Oh yeah, Ross peed on Rachel.
Yeah.
She's a pee girl. She's one of those pissers. But yeah, man.
No, that was when Ross had the hot chick from Hey Dude who shaved her head.
Ooh, dude, Hey Dude was the jam. Donkey lips and ugly.
No, that's Camp Onawana.
Ooh, is it?
Yo, Donkey Lips was Camp Onawana. Camp Onawana. We hold you in our hearts, and when we think about you, it makes me wanna fart. Yeah, that's Camp Onawana or Lake Ottawa, whatever. Camp Onawana. Hey Dude had that blonde hot chick that eventually married Ben Stiller.
Yes.
It had the Native American Mexican dude. His name was Danny.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember any of the names of those people, but I just remember the show.
Absolutely. It was Salute Your Shorts. That's the show.
That wasn't it, but
with
they were at
Donkey
Camp
Lips.
Anawana.
Yes,
Camp
yes,
Anawana.
yes.
Salute Your Shorts. Yes.
Dude, we should do an entire episode on just like shit from the 90s.
I have an episode like that.
Nice. Ah, you son of a bitch.
He's he's a guy that sells vintage 90s clothes.
Nice. Yeah.
And I did it like episode 98 or something, and I wanted to do it to celebrate the 90s. And then we just like broke down a whole. But I fucked up because he's in his 20s. He didn't grow up in the 90s, and I thought he would have more 90s knowledge and nostalgia, and he didn't have as much. But it was still a fun conversation. That's a good episode. That's a popular one. A lot of people have listened to that one. That's a good one.
And I think it's because we've seen this kind of resurgence in 90s style.
Well, it's because it's people like you and me that age.
Yep.
Let's go back. I have kids now. I've got a 7-year-old and about to be a 4-year-old, and they've watched all the old school DuckTales.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yes. Darkwing Duck.
I never got that. Was never me when I grew up.
Right on.
But yeah, DuckTales, Ninja Turtles.
Yes. Saturday morning cartoons,
yeah.
man, they were amazing in the 90s. Just like Friday night TV, right? Like
TGIF.
Yes, dude.
Urkel.
Yes, man.
Family Matters.
Did I do that?
Yeah. Winslow's.
Absolutely. And to go off of content, man, and to tie it back into silver linings, I feel like, again, if I'm trying to practice that whole the gratitude attitude, right? Like, what am I grateful for during these really depressing times, which can help with depression, right? I think that one of the reasons, and you're not alone, Ryan. I think that we all suffer from depression and anxiety. And I think that in this world where we're even more connected because of social media, and when we're in those echo chambers and we're, comparing our lives to our peers, and it's like, why don't I have that? Why isn't that me? And we've heard this a lot, man. It's like, it's because that's their highlight reel. Like really, if you were to take a look behind the scenes, nobody's life is that rosy. Nobody's life is perfect.
Oh, we should all know that. Yeah, when you're seeing social media, you get tricked into thinking these people, they're just posting the best shit of their lives.
The best shit, man. Anybody can do that, dude.
Yeah, and it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes. The thief of joy is comparison.
There you go.
Thief of all joy is comparison, and that's what social media is doing to us. It's just taking away all of our joy. I see this guy that I grew up with. He's not particularly bright, but he's got kind of a decent paying job, and I see him going on vacations all the time. Like, why don't I have that? I got the same stuff going on for me, but this dude's in Mexico, and then he's skiing in Utah, and he's got this fancy car.
How much of that is real?
Right, exactly. That's what we have to tell ourselves. Like, everyone just shows us their best side of their face.
Absolutely, man. You don't know what's going on back there. I bet he's looking at pictures of you and he's like, man, why don't I have that? You know what I mean? Like some of the things, like maybe we always focus on the things we don't have. And so that whole like attitude of gratitude is focusing on the things that we do have. Right? Like I'm grateful that I got another chance to come on the podcast today.
Hell yeah.
Because you guys are fun, man.
Anytime
I have
you want,
fun
man.
here.
Anytime. Just ask me.
That's right, man.
I'm not good at asking. You just ask me, hey, I want to come and chop it up. I'm like, all right, whenever, let's do it.
That's right, dude. And that's awesome, man. And so to go off of and like focus on like the silver linings, like what good has come from these situations. One of the ones that I really love is, dude, if COVID would have happened, again, let's use 2015 as kind of a benchmark. If that shit would have gone down 2015, we wouldn't have had the Hulus, the Disney Plus, the Amazon Prime, all this streaming content to keep me happy at home, right?
You don't think so?
Dude, I mean, we had Netflix, but not
I think all that shit would have gone up and quicker.
Maybe. Yeah, absolutely. It would have expedited.
People are looking for. I'm stuck at home. I'm looking for shit though. I hear people. I've watched everything. What do I watch next?
Yep.
I'm like, watch me on the podcast, YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. It could have also increased cable sales. It's like, well, don't cut your cord. Just pay $200 more a month this month, and then next year we'll raise your anyways. You're absolutely right. It could have, would have, something could have happened. It could have led to something great. But what we have right now are those things. We already have them. They're tangible, right? And then the other awesome thing that I've seen, we talked about 80s music, and that's another show that we need to have. Like I have a bone to pick with you, Ryan.
Really? I just got into it like a couple weeks ago on Tilo the Doctor. Is that the one latest? Yeah, we just got into it then too about 80s music.
But you see what I'm saying? So here's what I'm getting at, man. What I'm getting at is the content that we're seeing come up right now is amazing, dude. There's so much good music that's coming from these artists sitting at home, dude. I'm seeing records drop left and right.
Machine Gun Kelly,
dude. There you go. How's that album?
I don't think he put out an album out, but as soon as lockdown happened, he put out a few videos of just him on his balcony in his bedroom, just putting out songs, just him there, and they went huge. Or one in his car. And they went big. They went viral. They were good. Yeah, I've seen other artists do the same thing. They're like, we're stuck at home. I'm just gonna make some beats, put down a track, and then
collaboration, man. You know, like the spark of creativity. I think that it could be our modern renaissance.
Me and Charlie made a song.
Dude, what? You guys made a song?
It ain't out there nowhere, but
hey, dude, we gotta post that shit.
No, I ain't posting
we gotta make a song.
I ain't posting that. That's a secret one.
Oh, we gotta make a song then, dude, because I love music. Yeah.
It's pretty dope. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
We can play it for you, but not play it for everybody else. But that's like that's what I'm seeking.
Fair enough. When we cut the cameras, that's how we end the show. You know what I mean? But it's one of those things, man. It's like this opportunity again. It's like, what do you want to use your time for? You know, and again, like that 50-50, man. I'm seeing some amazing content come out, some incredible inventions. We have people that are putting their imagination on paper or whatever, you know, but it's becoming real life during COVID. And for me, that's a silver lining. That's something that I'm grateful for because I'm stuck at home a lot, you know, and I'm cool with that, man. I'm okay with that. I can go both ways kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like I can go out and party and I love to do that when the time is right. But at the same time, like if this is what I have to do right now,
right,
so I can enjoy the rest of my life, right? Like I don't want to be short-minded and be like, the next 2 years are going to fucking suck. So this is bullshit. God.
Right.
Okay, cool, man. Like, yeah, these 2 years, they do suck. Let's go ahead and own that.
Right. Grit and bear it.
Yeah, absolutely,
right,
man. Let's get stronger from it. You know,
right,
let's whittle away at the shitty part of ourselves and become this awesome wooden version of ourselves or whatever.
Dope.
And then from there, man, I'm turning 35. So let's say I make it a 70. Then I can enjoy the other 33 years of my life, you know, with some other cool shit that I made along the way. And this is what I took from COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you learning? What are you learning right now? You've had a few months to kind of sit back and relax and kind of reflect on yourself, maybe your business, maybe your future. Is there anything that you've learned or come out with so far? I mean, it's still early.
Sure.
Who knows how much longer we have?
Sure.
I don't think this shit's going to end until we get a vaccine.
Sure.
And
Absolutely.
even then.
Yeah, exactly, man.
You know?
And that's the thing, man. Like if we can just learn to accept it, and then that's it, man. It's like, all right, cool. This is the problem then. This is the problem. What's the solution?
I think that's where I was at. I think a lot of people kind of gave me a little bit of shit for. I wasn't an anti-masker, but I'm not a mask promoter. I would go out without a mask until they said you can't come in here unless you wear one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm just because I was just like, it's inevitable that I'm gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
If this mask is just delaying me from getting it, if I don't get it now, I'm going to get it in 6 months from now. It's a virus. You can't stop a fucking virus. We're all going to get. So that was my thought, or is my thought. Like,
sure,
I'm going to get it, and I wish I would have had it already.
Sure,
get it over with. Get those antibodies. Then I don't have to worry about it.
Absolutely.
But I get it.
And I think that's great, man. You know, I think it's good to talk about these things. You know, one of my other backgrounds is in psychology, and it's also the way that we think is promoted by the culture that we grow up in. And in the U.S., we grow up in an individualistic culture. It's the bootstrap. Mm-hmm. It's like, you want to be an American? Do it yourself. Yeah, that's American.
That's right. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Absolutely, man. And that's cool. That's cool. In other parts of the world, it's a collective mindset, right? Because we're a hive mentality. Right. And that's why you can pick up on ghosts and shit and like other people's emotions and why, and when people are scared or when they're excited, like we pick up on that shit, right? So to me personally, it's not like about protecting myself. It's about protecting everybody else and myself.
No, I get that.
Right?
I get that.
And so it happens. And I'm not here to say, you know, what's right and wrong. I'm just saying the way that I look at the world and how it's affected me personally.
I'm an asshole. Like, he's sitting here telling me I'm an asshole. I get it. I know.
No, man. You know, this is that whole, like, I want to listen, man. I gotta understand it.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, this is going to make me sound like an asshole. And Nick and I have talked about this, but, you know, I also have to laugh a lot. And so I was like, man, I'm looking through new shows and I come across King of the Hill.
Oh, great show.
Dude.
Great show.
I don't know if you guys know the background of King of the Hill and what came from it, but The Office, Parks and Rec.
Mike Judge.
Dude, Mike
Beavis
Judge.
Beavis and Butthead.
All
of
that
course.
shit. Dude, but it's like there's like 20 shows that came out of King of the Hill. And that was, dude, it's such a great sense of humor. It's super funny. It's
Hank came from Beavis and Butthead.
He did come from Beavis and Butthead, dude. Yeah, he was the trailer.
Yeah,
he was the dude that owned the trailer.
Yeah, something with the golf balls.
Quit whacking off in my trailer.
Yeah. He was in a bunch of episodes, yeah.
And it's so good.
Beaver and Butthole.
Yeah.
That's what he called it. Beaver and Butthole, yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, man. You know, like we're better together. That whole like unity through community. Like I can sit here and spit a verse on why the human race will overcome our indifferences, right? Because here's a great one. So when astronauts are fucking blasted into outer space, they have this thing that happens to them. And they're looking down at this pale blue dot, like Carl Sagan describes it, right? And everything else melts away. Like your religious affiliations, your political views, your race, your gender, all these things that we've taught ourselves that divide us.
You realize that we're all just one. And
That's
we're all
it,
this
dude.
one rock floating in outer space.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's it, man. And that's where it's like, you know, I think
God, how cool would that be to get out there and look at the Earth?
we can do that, dude. That's like our ultimate goal at
We can do that?
3DHQ, dude. For me, I want to die.
You got
on
a black
rocket
market
ship.
rocket?
I want to 3D print a rocket ship and shoot me into outer space, and that's like at 70, and that's the way I go.
All right,
whatever.
so
Space pirate, dude.
So as far as like 3D printing, like I see the figurines, I see the keychains, I see like concepts like that. But can you do like, because to do a rocket ship, you need to do more than just the shell of the design of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need all the little nodes and wires and fuel injection and filters and blah, blah. Will the 3D printing technology, I'm sure it will get there, but I couldn't imagine that would be for, 100 years or so to where it can get that small and intricate to where it can just do tiny little wires that are, 4 gauges thick or whatever, the 16, whatever the small gauge is,
Sure.
12 gauge, whatever.
So
I don't know, man. What do I know? I'm ignorant. I'm just throwing shit out there. Teach me.
And that's where I don't think you're ignorant. I think you're curious.
Okay.
And that's probably the optimist in me speaking.
Yeah,
you
thanks. I am curious and ignorant.
But so here's the thing, man. We're already using 3D printing to print rocket ships, right?
Really?
To print parts.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there's this thing in technology called Moore's Law, right? And it's
Right.
It's that whole bigger, faster, stronger. Like every 2 years, it becomes bigger, faster,
Twice
stronger.
as fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. And then it reaches a point where it's like, it reaches its pinnacle.
Moore's law is not really a law, though, is it? Isn't there going to come a point where it's going to have to stop? So it's not really a law.
So it transitions. No, you're right. So
Okay.
there comes a point where it reaches its pinnacle, and then that pinnacle becomes quantum theory and quantum physics and quantum computing,
Which nobody understands.
and that shit right there, to make it like as understandable as possible for me, is weird science. It's like
Right.
designing your dream girl, and then like from the computer, and dry ice and lasers comes this babe.
Why can't
know?
people understand my intentions?
Dude.
Weird science.
When did that song come out?
That
Ryan?
song sucks,
When
but
did that
the
song-
movie's good. I love that movie. Music sucks. Weird science.
Dude, is that the hook? That's the hook right there,
Yes, it
dude. Dude, that's man. So
Did you remember? Just to go off real quick,
Yes.
and then we'll go back.
Yeah.
Weird Science also had a TV show on like the USA Network.
That's what I watched.
Mm.
That was my
Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
Dude,
There was a TV. Of course, the movie. Of course, the movie was huge.
I watched the series.
But there was a TV series called Weird Science, and it was so good, and the chick in it was so hot. It wasn't the same Weird Science movie chick. It was this other.
Yeah.
I think it was the same chick that was in Kingpin.
Yep.
Yes, Charlie knows.
Okay, the blonde one.
Yeah. The big breasts.
big brains.
Yeah, the
She's smart.
real nice pair of personalities.
Yes. Dude, I'm having flashbacks, but I feel like I'm imagining it because I want to be cool and a part of the group.
I'm not cool. I should be a part of the group.
But now I'm like, I gotta go find this shit and see what
Find
they're
it.
talking
So I
about.
believe it was on USA Network, and I wonder if it was the same time around the show Pacific Blue. Pac Blue
Oh,
was on
dude,
with
yeah.
Slater, AC Slater,
Yeah.
Mario Lopez.
Yes.
What a great show! Bicycle cops on like Muscle Beach in Venice or some shit like that.
Yes.
It's so good.
So good, dude.
90s TV shows, 80s movies, 90s music.
Yep.
You know, the only thing that got fucked up was the 80s music. You know, the synthesizers and the key guitars.
Which I love. and
Gross.
and that's what I'm saying, man. Like, people are incredible. You know, it's not just like one group of people doing all that shit. It's
Right.
everybody. And that's what gives us, like, you know, cool shit
digging
to
this
talk
whiskey
about now.
today.
It's so good, dude. That's what I'm saying, man. Getting day drunk. As I get older and like the whole, like,
you appreciate getting day drunk much more, right?
Dude, yes, because I can sleep off the hangover. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I have tomorrow, and I'm like, I can go to the farmer's market if I want, or like for a bicycle ride.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about like, how did I improve myself over these, or like, what have I been learning? You know, it's that whole like mind, body, soul kind of thing, dude. I'll be honest, like I dove into work. You know, I was like, man, this is that whole adversity, you know, creates clarity. I'm like, you're not going to stop me. That Jordan moment. You know, it's like, yeah, you want to get in the playoffs? Here's how you get in the playoffs, right? Survive COVID. That's how your business makes it
Work
to the
harder
next
than
round.
the next guy.
That's it, dude. That's it. And it's teamwork. So I did that, man. But it's also that balance. You can't just live there. You can't just do that.
You have
right?
to if you want to be Jordan.
That's right. But Jordan
That's what makes Jordan Jordan.
Jordan also found the time to gamble, right? And to have kids and a family. So
yeah,
so it
ask
was
him
like,
how all that worked out.
Yeah. Hey, man,
His
you know,
dad's dead because of his gambling.
dude, it's crazy.
You know?
They have that.
I just got canceled.
They have that ESPN 30 for 30, The Last Dance, and he goes into that, man. And
I haven't gotten that far yet. I think I'm on episode 4.
that shit's tight, though.
Yeah.
That's 90s nostalgia right there for you, dude. And that,
I grew up. Yeah, I grew up with Jordan on 3 of my 4 walls.
yep.
I indebted my parents a mortgage buying Bulls gear and Jordans. Yeah, I had it all. I was upset. I wanted to be Michael Jordan. The reason why I was a 5'10" white boy in high school and could dunk
Yep.
was because of Michael Jordan.
Dang. That's awesome, dude. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's that kind of inspiration, man,
Mm-hmm.
that when you dig deep inside yourself and you give yourself that sole purpose of, this is what my life will mean and this is the experience I want to have, we can do great things. Because that spectrum exists in all of us. You know, and that spectrum to dunk
That's
exists
crazy.
in you.
I never thought about that till just now. How crazy that is. I would have been cool. I would love to see my son. Well, my son will be taller than 5'10".
Yeah.
I was a 5'10" white kid that could dunk.
Because you were inspired. You know, and it was
Just
like,
my whole life, I was just doing plyometrics without knowing it. Constantly trying to dunk since I was in like 3rd grade when I first saw Jordan.
that's amazing.
And just built I mean, to this day, women say I have a really nice ass.
Yeah.
And it's because of my plyometrics.
And it's because you can
3rd
dunk.
grade.
Be like, thanks, baby. I can dunk.
That's right, girl. I know I do. They say you got a nice ass. I go, I know.
I could dunk.
I know. I can dunk.
But exactly, man. And I think that's, again, yet this opportunity that we have right now is to give the world positive role models, right? People that overcome adversity and all the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And then we inspire the next generation so they can dunk, you know?
Right.
But yeah, man. So yeah, man. So, okay. So I started dedicating
The problem
myself
is
even.
the problem is the kind of not to cut you off, sorry, but the problem is the kind of inspirational people that are out there that some people are looking for inspiration from, meaning Instagram models,
Sure.
social media personalities.
Yep.
You know, I don't know. That's a good way to.
No, it's a great way to put it.
You know.
If that's what you're going to say. It's
Yeah.
like we're finishing each other's
Sandwiches?
Sandwiches. Yes, dude. Oh, dude. People always say sentences. That was great. But I think that you're right, man. So here's the thing, right? Like that, again, to go back to that like 50-50, we half of us pull this way, half of us pull that way. When we see shit for long enough and we're exposed to it for not long enough, it's like radiation, man. Like eventually that shit seeps in,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So both on the positive side, you can have this case example where, you know, your childhood idol drove you to grow an amazing ass, so you can fucking dunk. You know,
It's a virgin ass, and if there's any billionaire gay dudes out there, like I might sell it for the right price, but I got to retire for the rest of my life, and
dude,
you know what I mean? I'll DM me, I'll send pics.
Dude, you're not alone. There's a whole subset of bonobos that will use sexual exchanges as currency. So it's like, hey, I got to build this house, and it's like, cool, come give me a hand job, and I got you. You know, so like to the same extent, that's what you're doing. Yeah, it's a subset.
Bonobos
of
are freaks. They'll fuck
That's what I'm saying, dude.
The only thing in the bonobo culture that they don't fuck is daughter to son.
Oh, there you go, man. That's a
Everything
good rule to
else.
have.
I'm surprised they need to sell them. That they're do bonobos look at other clearly they do. Other bonobos find other different bonobos more attractive than other ones. Hey, I'm a good-looking bonobo. Jerk you off.
Yeah.
You know, you go get me one of those candy bars.
Yeah.
Like, we're good.
That's it, dude.
Prostitutions and these things, like it's
natural, dude. That shit
It is
exists in
natural.
nature. Nature is the archetype.
Legalized prostitution is what I'm hearing you say.
Dude, let's get those girls health insurance. Let's get them checked out.
And
man.
guys,
they deserve better.
let's
And
let 'em,
guys, dude,
you know.
absolutely, man.
And my trans friends out there, like let everybody.
This is the human race, baby. We're
It's
all
all
included.
just it's a melting pot of sex.
That's what it comes down to,
Yeah.
man. I'll stir that pot.
There we go. Get that orgy pot in here.
That's
Let's
it.
just fuck. Come on, baby.
So, so exactly, man. Right? Like you can draw inspiration from positive role models, and to the same extent,
Negative ones. Yeah.
absolutely, dude. Which makes you a shittier version of yourself, like either willingly or unwillingly, and maybe by the time you realize the version of the self that you've become is no longer the one that you're proud of. Not that it's too late, but it's probably like one of those killer clown moments.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit. I don't know. So again, to dive back into what I've been doing, man, is again I'm really appreciative of the content and the work that we're doing. Dude, music and bike rides and just like family dinners and shit, man. To me, honestly, it's back to basics.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I absolutely feel fortunate. But I think that again, dude.
Of course, the business aspect the business hit probably sucks, right?
It's hard.
Yeah. It's got to be hard.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I hate bringing that up.
No.
But yeah.
But it's good. Again, it's one of those like face your fears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard. Yes, it sucks. So what, man?
Okay.
So what's the game plan?
Right.
So how do we get?
We make masks.
That's it, man.
We fucking make masks.
That's right.
Hospitals, you want some parts? I got you.
We got you, dude. We printed a steering column for like a 1988 Chevy truck. Because this automotive company in town was like, I don't want to go dumpster diving. And,
Oh wow.
And these parts are no longer sold. So again, man, like other people are coming out and they're like, hey man, maybe we can use this new technology to our benefit.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things, man. It's like
dope.
we're just
Hell yeah.
adding to it. Hell yeah. Yeah.
That's a really good idea. I don't
That is a great idea. Hey, should we take a break real quick?
Yeah.
You guys want to take a break and go potty?
Yeah.
He could use a Charlie's here can't handle his whiskey like a man. He said, no thanks. I don't want hair to grow on my chest. I need an ice cube for my whiskey. So we're going to pause it. And we're going to get Charlie some whiskey there's some ice for his whiskey.
Time out, coach.
All right. We'll be right back after these messages. Dun, dun. We'll be right. We're started. We're going to restart this bad boy in 3, 2, 1. Boom, shalak, boom. What were we just talking about? I had something good to bring up to you.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
I'm sensing it. I'm picking up on that. One time.
We just took a real nice break, everybody. We were indulging in some Buffalo Trace. Everybody, Buffalo Trace, the official, non-official sponsor of Neanderthal Podcast for episode 106 with 3DHQ with Fabian here. What I kind of did want to ask you or talk to you about was you have an interesting transition from journalism and psychology, you said?
Yeah.
Those are two things I wish I would have gone to college and done shit like that. But now you're involved in the 3D printing world.
Yeah.
How do you go from those two realms into that?
Absolutely.
What happened? Because you said you did do some journalism. You were crossing all over the world doing some cool stuff.
Yes.
You know what I'm going to call you a poor man's Shane Smith.
Who's that?
The creator of Vice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know that guy.
You kind of have a similar look to him.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Shaved
before we get
head.
into this, I've been meaning to say this entire time. I love your glasses.
Thanks, man.
Those are
Throwbacks.
gorgeous. Those are gorgeous glasses.
Uh,
I love shades. I have about 10 different pairs of sunglasses. Anyway, so you go from journalism and psychology to 3D printing.
there you go, man. So a lot of that is
Hang with us, folks. I'm drunk.
a lot of it, man, to be honest with you, it's just like following my passions and intuition. So psychology was like one of the first topics I fell in love with in school once we got electives. You remember like in middle school when it was like, right, so you're going to have your math class and your history class.
Okay.
And then you're going to go to PE. And
All I cared about was PE.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, right? And then it was like,
That's not true. But
And then you have like 2 classes that you get to pick on your own. So like what do you want that?
electives.
electives, man. So it was one of those times where I was like, dude, I don't understand why I'm thinking about shit that I'm thinking about.
Like what?
Like, man, one of the first, so I thought about death, like in the fact that like everybody I know will someday die,
Including yourself.
including myself, when I was like 7. You know, I had this just like realization, and it fucking hit me hard. I was like, what? You know, and that kind of toll on a young mind, I think on any mind, is our mortality is scary. And that's why we make stories up to calm those fears down, right?
He said that's why we make up stories. We all know he's referring to religion. sorry. We're drunk now. The politically correctness has gone out the window. But I'll go back to being politically correct.
No,
'cause you
dude.
are a business owner.
No, dude. Keep calling
I'm
me
not.
out on my bullshit.
I'm not putting words in your mouth. That's
No,
just
I
me.
appreciate that, dude. And that's why I come back here, is because we can have real conversations, right? And like I can paint it one way, and then you can be like, bullshit, this is what it is.
Do you disagree with me with everything?
No.
Okay.
No, I think it's good. I think that it's important to see both sides. So you're right, man. Like, you know, we tell each other these stories, and we believe in them, and we hold them true to our hearts anyways. So when I was again in middle school, and I got to pick an elective, and I came across psychology, it was one of those opportunities that I felt for myself was I can understand where I'm coming from, like what is going on in my head, and if I can connect those dots, then I'm a person and I interact with people. Maybe I can understand why other people are crazy. So psychology led me down that road. And then when I was in college, I've always loved to write and draw. So like I look around the room and I'm seeing like, you know, colorful drawings and stuff like that.
Are you left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Oh wow.
My mom was born left-handed, and my grandfather was, his train of thought at the time was being left-handed is one of these marks of the beast.
Okay.
So he forced her to become ambidextrous.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice,
man.
but not nice. Probably a little bit of psychological bullying there, or trauma there at least.
Absolutely,
Which is hypocritical of me to say, because I have a son and I want him to be amazing at sports.
Yeah.
So since the day he was born, I have strapped his right hand to the side of his body since then. He hasn't used his right hand in 7 years.
That's amazing. So he's ambidextrous. so he's using both hands, is what I'm getting at.
Nah, I still got his right strapped. I want to make sure that left hand is ready to go for pitching. He's
There
going to
you
be a
go.
left-handed pitcher in the MLB.
That's amazing, right?
Yeah, I'm looking for my way out.
There you
If
go.
this 3D printing postal device of mine doesn't pan out, my son's bailing me out with the Major League Baseball.
Hey man, that's a solid backup.
I'm sorry I derailed us.
No, that's good, dude. So psychology led me down that road, and then when I was in college, I love to write. You know, I've kept a journal, but it's really a diary.
Beautiful.
Wrote in my diary.
That's beautiful.
Dear diary.
How do you
Nicole
start it out like dear journal, dear diary, dear something, or do you just start writing?
Man, I wish that I was, you know, that I had like a headline to start with. No, dude, but it's usually like I just start writing.
Okay.
You know, and I started writing, you know, and this is going deep. This is going into like what we were talking about, depression and anxiety. When my parents got divorced, it was really hard, and I didn't really. Sports was an outlet, you know, like I grew up playing sports. That's the foundation of my father's and I's relationship. But when
Nice.
this shit was happening, it was like, dude, I need another outlet. So intuitively, I just started writing, man. I was just writing bullshit. And now I can go back. So going back to like the multiverse and time travel and all this shit, I believe time travel exists now, right? And I believe that it exists in several forms. I think music is one of them.
Oh, 100%. I've touched on that many times on the podcast.
Dude, right? You get it, man. It's like you hear the song.
You hear a song and it transforms you back into that time. Like there's so many just songs in high school that when I hear it now, it'll put me in that state of mind that I was in. I can see that girl now. I can remember the emotions of her and I's breakup. Me going on a drive by myself and listening to Puff Daddy All About the Benjamins in the woods all by myself. Just wanna be just crying my eyes out. Wanna be baller, shot caller.
Exactly, man. And that's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
You know, to like revisit that version of yourself, that moment in life. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Like truly awesome. And I feel like, you know, you see studies where the other one is smell, right? Smell is like one of those things, like a perfume or a candle or some scent. It's like, boom, you're transported.
Back to your childhood.
That's
again.
right.
There's that good song by 21 Pilots where it's like, I can't remember the song exactly, the lyrics, but it's like, I wish I could take this song, this smell and bottle it up, but only two people would understand it, me and my brother.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. That's so, there are smells like only my brother and I would understand. Like, that's Grandpa and Grandma's house.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
That's right. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And
So
I think
crazy.
that while you and your brother would understand specifically your grandmother and father's house, that resonates with all of us. Like, I feel like everybody here in this room could also remember that smell from their grandparents' house. You know what I mean? So for me, another one of these time machines are my journals, right? Like,
okay,
at
beautiful.
this point, man. At this point in my life, and like I have right now, I have this beautiful journal that my sister gifted me. But anyways, like I can just jump back in and like look at the way that I was writing and what was going on in my life and all this shit. So that's what I was going through with my parents, and that's where psychology really helped. And then in college, I came across the journalism school. You know, and it was one of those things where somebody was like, hey, you should apply. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, I will. So I did, and I got accepted, and they were like, hey, so actually at the J school, there's a 2 major track. Like, you can still keep psychology because that was my major, but you can also couple it with journalism. And so here is where, when we were talking about, you know, what happened with journalism and their business model, so it goes into advertising and demographics and understanding people, and the way that you sell people things is based on emotions, right? So if you can tap into their emotions through an ad, they're more likely to buy it.
That's why sex is easy.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Sex, again, food, drugs, rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
All these basic human emotions and like things that you want. So yeah, man.
Could you imagine if marijuana was super legal, like alcohol was, the kind of commercials they would have for like, buy this brand of Kush, OG Kush, and the commercials that would go along with it? What kind of weird America that could possibly be?
That it's turning into, dude. They'd be hilarious. It'd probably be a lot like the weed names that you're buying, like Purple Kush.
Right, but just the commercials. Like, you remember we had the Clydesdales with Budweisers. Yeah. Just imagine just like the iconic Spuds McKenzie's. Like,
yes,
what kind of weird drug? Like, I'm a proponent of all drugs being legalized.
Sure.
And just think of like all the different kinds of Coke.
Yeah, there you go, dude. You see it in Portugal. Portugal, you know, they legalized all their drugs, right? And what it actually does is it has the adverse effect. Like, we're like, oh my God, crime's gonna go up, and everybody's gonna be high and robbing and fucking me all the time. And what actually happens is like, no, they're like, once you tell people that they can have whatever they want,
right,
then people are like, oh, cool, I don't want it anymore.
Right,
You know what I
educate
mean?
and treatment.
There you go, man.
That's the path.
That is the path, man. Yeah. And so that's what I found through education was that treatment, right? Psychology led me to journalism. Journalism led me to becoming a journalist and an analyst in emerging economies. And then that interest led me to, well, what emerging industries are popping up that could change the world, right? And I think that marijuana falls in that. I think renewable energy falls in that. And I think that 3D printing and 3D technology also falls in that.
Virtual reality. Yeah, there's a bunch of things that are falling in that right now with the spearhead of certain technologies.
Yes. Absolutely, man. So the transition, you know, it was I think we all have these moments in life where it's like moments of clarity or an epiphany, right? I think we talked about that before, where it was like, well, how did you get involved in podcasting? And when you were talking to your dad, and he was like, go fucking do it.
Right.
You know, and you're doing it. You know, so how do you go from being a postman to a podcaster? How do you go from being a journalist to a 3D printer? Right? I think that it's one of those things, man. Again, that spectrum for good and evil, for creativity and passion, that exists in all of us, right? And we can tap into it. And I think that a lot of the time we're too afraid to go after that because it's like, well, how would I support my family? Or, you know, what kind of life does this mean that I would be living? And a lot of the times we give into those fears and we're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to be an insurance agent because that's safe money, right? And then when you're there, you're like
Ned Ryerson.
Who's that?
Groundhog's Day.
Oh, yeah, dude. Dude, Groundhog's Day. Man, have I got a movie for you? Dude, I'm going to
Palm Springs.
Yes, dude.
I'm ahead of the game. I already know.
Man.
Continue.
There we go. So we can breeze right past that one. But yeah, man, I think that spectrum exists in all of us. And you know, I think that when you open that door, then all of a sudden other doors start opening and you start attracting other people. It's that whole like your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So after I left my last project in Colombia, which I always wanted to live in outside of just being just being a tourist and like actually being a part of the economy and the society. Once I finished that project and I decided to come back home and then I narrowed my field down to like the ones that I wanted to be in, Nick and I came across each other, man. And it was one of those clandestine moments where it was like, dude, because you start following these things, other doors open. It's similar to your ghost hunting. Right? Like I was ghost hunting at the time. I really wanted to see what this version of myself would look like.
I got to start hunting money.
There you go, man. Dude, it's like the 49er gold rush, right? Like these people who are hunting gold nuggets.
Yeah.
Right? And like eventually, like if you just fucking chip away enough.
Coltan. If I knew how to hunt coltan, I'd be all over that.
There you go. So that's kind of how that transition happened. And I think that our stories are similar. It's just, dude, You got to take a risk, man. You got to shoot your shot.
Got to.
Yep.
Got to.
That's it.
I tell people that all the time.
That's what it is.
Shoot your shot. Wayne Gretzky said it best. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
And look where he ended up. You know?
The great one.
That's it.
The great one.
He's like the Messiah.
Yep. Number 99.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Dude, and I think that when we look at to go off sports and to kind of switch topics, like and to go back into that whole attitude of gratitude, when we look at the world that we've been fortunate enough to live in over the last 4 decades, look at everybody we've gotten to see, man. Like from Gretzky to Jordan to Sosa versus McGuire to sports.
Tiger Woods,
dude,
Danica Patrick,
dude,
the Dream Team,
bam. I mean,
Caitlyn Jenner,
Tom Brady, all those things. Tom Brady, in my opinion, is the Jordan of football.
Oh, yeah. He's the GOAT.
You know what I mean?
So many people hate him. I don't know why people hate him. Is it because he's so pretty and has a model and is so good and is so straight-edged? Is that what it is?
To go back to your Batman quote from earlier, that people just want to see the world burn.
Right.
So the same thing is like
they don't want to see a winner.
You either die the hero or you live long enough to become the villain. And I think that he just lived long enough to become like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm ready for something new.
I wonder if it has to do more with the Boston fandom than it does actual Tom Brady, because Boston fans are pretty fucking obnoxious. You guys know you are.
But we got to be careful with that, because here's the other great thing that's happened in our lifetimes in Kansas City.
Yeah, don't get me started.
By the way,
don't get me started.
We have seen a World Series championship ring. Yeah. We've seen a Super Bowl. Amen. Hallelujah.
Well, not only did we see a World Series ring, but we saw a World Series appearance the year before that.
Which was, dude, out of like all
that was huge.
The outcomes. Oh, dude, totally.
That might have been, that was as big, if not bigger, than the World Series win.
Absolutely.
It might have been bigger.
Dude, how much fun was that playoff run?
I went to a game. I went to one of the games.
Which one was it?
It was a Game 5 where we demolished them. We killed them. It was like 11 to something.
That's amazing. And you'll always remember that. That's called
I got in for free. All I had to pay for was parking.
That's amazing.
It's like $25 and I got to go in. And I was married at the time.
Yeah.
So I had Miss Missouri hitting on me, wanting me to take her out when I went to the
Ooh-wee.
game. And I was married. I couldn't do it. But
And
I
you know
had
what-
Miss Missouri at Game 5 of a World Series. And I'm like, you're hot. I'll flirt with you. I'm not going to lie. I flirted with her.
Yeah. And that's good, man. But
Yeah.
you know what? The inverse would have been if you weren't married, Miss Missouri wouldn't have given two shits about you. You know what I mean? Like in that other world, that other
don't know that.
dimension. I don't.
It might have been Miss California.
That's right, man. But
I've hooked up with Miss California, too.
Oh, dang.
That's another story. That's a
Dude.
different story.
There-
That's a whole podcast there.
Dude,
Shout out to you, Miss California. You're
Hey,
probably
baby.
listening right now.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. You know, and again, like these are maybe the experiences that we want to have in life. So how fortunate were you to have that experience twice, right?
And
To be
I'm
able
not
to
a
flirt
good
one-
looking guy. I just got lucky.
Nah, dude, I think it's a combination of both, man.
Yeah.
You know, I think that we're too hard on ourselves. I think you're a great looking guy.
Oh,
I think
man,
that
what
you're
a sweetheart.
also I think you were also lucky, and I think that you also capitalized on the moment, man.
Yeah.
You know, and again, that's that spectrum that exists in all of us. But if you let fear win, then maybe it turns out a different way.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I think that we've been very fortunate to see, you know, like all this shit happen. Again, going back to Kansas City, we also can't forget about like the MLS Cups that we've won with
Exactly. That goes
sporting.
Yeah.
And dude, KU basketball, man, the NCAA championship.
Okay,
you know?
basketball, of course.
Dude,
No, they're the worst though.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about the KU
Yeah.
people. We all, whether you're a fan or not of KU, you understand the KU fans are a bit. I'm going to be nice and just say arrogant.
And that's fine, man. And this is the correlation between the Boston fandom
Yeah.
and then again Kansas City. When you create this culture of constantly winning, it's only a matter of time before the haters come out and they're like, enough, we need something new.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
So,
fine.
Yeah.
I've been to a
man.
game. I've been to a KU basketball game. I was like 4 rows up center court. It was cool.
There you go, man. So here we go.
It's fine.
Since we're on sports, right? Like the conversation of sports, there's been something that I've been trying to get off the ground for years. And I do it in like my sections when I'm at games, but I really want to get this chant going. So like when a ref has a bad call, you know, everybody's like, boo, 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 bad call, boo. I want to boo like a ghost and get the whole stadium to be like, boo, boo, and like really freak the ref out. Like, oh my God, like what have I done?
That'd be cool.
You know what I mean?
That would be cool.
And we've gotten it going in like you know,
Little pockets.
yeah, exactly. Like the seat in front of me, like the seat behind me, like yeah, dude,
Well,
I got you.
That would be wonderful, but who knows when that's going to happen, because now we're at like the Royals games or the baseball games. There's nobody. They're fucking cutouts.
Yep,
There's little cutouts in there in the stands, but there's no people.
yep.
And they're saying like some football stadiums will have some fans,
Yep.
but I don't know what capacity that's going to be.
And I think that
But
this
maybe that's the time to do it. When you have the small pockets, like, all right, us 12 people that are separated 6 feet apart, boo,
Yeah, boo.
boo,
Boo.
blueberry, or whatever, something, yeah.
absolutely. And I think that point also, you know, to tie it back into 3D technology and kind of like imagining our stadiums of the future and tying it into augmented reality. Imagine kind of like Animal Crossing has been a really big thing during this.
I wish I knew more about it. I know it's big, but I haven't played it.
Dude, it's visiting your friends virtually in their virtual world. You know what I mean? So it's like having a Nintendo Me or Wii character, and then you go there. That's basically what it is. But what I'm getting at is imagine having your own hologram, like you, right? You being projected into the stadium so the players still feel that atmosphere of, well, there's nobody here, but
Right.
they're here from home, right? Because that's what drives up
That's
that
an
level
expensive technology, isn't it? To fill a stadium full of holograms?
Is it?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know.
And
I
that's what
assume
I'm
so.
saying. But
50,000, 75,000 holograms of, I don't know.
But is it more expensive to do that than not have anybody at the stadiums for an entire season, maybe 2?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? And like sell cutouts like, hey, so
The
what we're
cutouts
gonna
are
do-
silly.
Yeah, it's
But
just
I
old
like
school.
it.
It's old school. It's like being like, hey, we have
It's
we
so
have
silly. It's
we
so
ha-
silly.
we have streaming services, but again, here's a VHS.
You want some more whiskey?
Are you gonna have some more whiskey?
Sure.
Oh yeah, I'll take another droplet, I guess. I'm not afraid
So
anymore.
I just saw it there, and I pride myself on being a decent host.
I appreciate that, man. I think that, that's something that Nick and I talk about all the time as well. It's one of those things where it's like, you want to treat your place of work kind of like if you were to have guests in your home, right? And like, how were you brought up? You want to offer them things. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think that being that optimist and looking at what the world may look like here in 5 to 10 years. And here's the thing, we can't live in the future, just like you don't want to live in the past, because that's what creates anxiety and depression and those kind of things. But
That's what it is?
yeah,
You just fixed me.
but
You just fixed me. I love the past, but I'm out. Goodbye, 90s.
You
You were
don't live there
great, but
anymore.
I'm you're right. I don't.
here's the thing, Ryan. You can go visit. You can go visit all the fuck you want, man.
because I'll
But you
get
can't
stuck
live
out.
there.
No,
You can't
I'll
live there.
smoke a joint and get stuck on a couch in the 90s.
That's
I can't
right.
do it. I'm eating a Big Mac, watching DuckTales, listening to Snoop Dogg. Like, I can't do it. I got to look to the future.
That's a pretty good Saturday morning, though, man. That sounds amazing.
It's unproductive as all hell.
That's right, dude. And and so the same thing is like we can't live in the future. We can't just be like, oh man, how great would it be? Universal basic income, equality.
I was hoping
all
for that. I was
and
hoping
all.
for the Andrew Yang.
Dude, we can make that happen. But what I'm getting at is like we can't just keep wishing it to happen. We have to take action. History is tied to the present. So if we want to change the future, we got to change the present. But I digress.
No, it is changing slowly.
Yeah.
He digresses into what?
Dude, so Palm Springs.
Oh man, who wouldn't? Yeah, I really liked Groundhog's Day,
Mm-hmm.
and so Palm Spring. I don't want to do any spoilers.
Sure.
People should definitely check out Palm Springs, and all you need to know is it's a Groundhog's Day movie.
That's right.
I've fantasized many times about having a Groundhog's Day.
Okay.
And I'm going to be real. I don't love my job. I don't love being a mailman.
And I think that there's a lot of people in that
Of
situation.
course there are. That's why I podcast.
Yes.
Like, it's my favorite day. This gets me out of that shit. This is my dream.
Hell yeah.
But anyways, a lot of times I go into work, especially during, it doesn't matter, but I go into work multiple days in a row and I'm like, God, this is like Groundhog's Day. Didn't I just fucking do this? I don't even feel like I went home and hung out and went to bed, had breakfast and came to work. I just feel like here I am again.
Wow. Yeah.
So many times, like, it feels like Groundhog's Day.
Yep.
But then aren't there times where you're like, do you ever wish you could actually have a real Groundhog's Day where you actually did wake up and like, holy shit, I just did this yesterday. Wait, is this for real? Let me just go through this day just to make sure.
Yep.
And then the next day is like, God damn it, I'm stuck. I did it. Here I am. I did it. I finally made a Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Would that be hell in reality, or is it kind of cool?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I think that in reality it'd be super cool for like.
Would you freak out in the beginning, like, holy shit, God damn it, I'm in fucking limbo,
Yeah.
purgatory?
Yes.
Or are you like, yes, I've been dreaming, I've been waiting for this. I'm gonna learn the fucking piano right now.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely, man. And
I'm gonna bang Britney Spears. Like, I'm getting in a fucking plane right now, flying to her, and I'm just gonna start learning about her, and that's my goal for. Where's my mind at?
That's
you guys, I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Forgive me. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me for that. I like Britney Spears.
That's right.
She'd be
dude.
willing. I promise you. If she met me, I know that she would like me. I know that
She'd
she
be
would.
like, hit me, baby, one more time.
Yes, she would.
know?
I know. If I just got to meet her, I think she would like me.
That dude, and that's what I'm saying, man. Maybe COVID is our Groundhog's Day, where it's like we keep waking up to lockdown and being asked to do things that suck and are uncomfortable. But again, maybe it's also an opportunity to be like, you know what? I'm gonna go do that shit. I am gonna go and go after the girl that
I
I've always
can't.
wanted,
She's
or
got a
whatever
dime
it is.
piece of a man right now. He's a personal trainer. He's young. He's shredded. He's like smarter than probably 3 rocks rubbed together.
Yeah.
Not much more than that, but she's happy. She's, but Brittany, get at me. I promise I'm smarter than him.
And you can dance.
Look, I can dance.
And you got that butt that makes you dunk.
Don't worry about it. We're good.
Dude.
Hit me up, Brittany.
You see what I mean? So yeah, dude, I think that Groundhog's Day and like going back into that life that you always wish you had and all that stuff, dude, that stuff exists right now. Like we're waking up to it. But it's what do
Right.
you want to do when you're there? You know,
Right.
how do you want to view it as purgatory? Do you want to view it
Right.
as heaven? You know, that again resides in the mind.
I'm having an epiphany.
Boom.
Yeah, why wait? Or why think that waking why treat life any different than it's not Groundhog's Day, waking up every single day, starting that day? If there's something you want to do, start doing it. You
Yep.
can't wait for a Groundhog's Day. That's not reality. That's not really going to happen.
And
Tomorrow's coming.
Yep.
Whether you like it or not. I know the old adage is you don't know if tomorrow's coming. Fuck you.
Yep.
Tomorrow's coming.
Yep.
Tomorrow's coming, and if it doesn't come, you're not going to know it doesn't come. Tomorrow's fucking coming. Figure it out and start getting shit done. If there's something you want to do, start working towards that shit, whether it's Groundhog's Day or not. And I'm not telling people that are listening or watching this right now. I'm telling myself that.
Yeah.
Because I have a real struggle with not getting motivated and doing shit when I need to, knowing I need to do it. I need to just stop waiting for Groundhog's Day. I'm 40. I got to start doing shit tomorrow. I got to get better. I got to be better.
There you go, man.
I got to.
And you're not alone, man. That's everybody. That's all of us, dude. We
Do
all
it.
feel that
Fuck.
at different points in our life.
Tomorrow.
You know? Absolutely, man. That's it. You
God
do it
damn,
today.
Buffalo Trace. Look what you're doing.
Dude,
Look what
is
you're
in
doing. This
here?
is some good. I'm telling you, Buffalo Trace, this is the promotion of a lifetime.
That's right, man.
If you'd like 3 listeners to fall into your.
Dude, they're gonna be on top of it. They're
On
gonna
top
you're gonna
of it.
wake up with emails tomorrow.
Yes.
Like, listen, Ryan, I don't know why you haven't gotten back to us yet, but
Yes,
we're,
we've been
we're
hitting you
seriously
up. It's
interested.
NeanderTalkPodcast.com.
Dude, there you go, man. They just need to know where to look.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I think
Anybody else? NeanderTalkPodcast.com.
there it is, man. There it is. But yeah, dude, I think that it is what we make of it.
Right.
You know? And that's what it is. Oh, and I was
Yeah.
going to say, and I'm sorry, going off of what you were saying or adding to it, you know, one of the things that I really appreciated about Colombian culture is it's full of idioms, right? So there's this one that's like, si el joven supiera y el viejo pudiera. And what that means, and it's like, it's beautiful in Spanish because it rhymes. So it's fun. It's kind of Dr. Seussy. But it's what it means
Never
is
liked
like,
him.
And he's not even a doctor. He was one of those other ones.
He's a
that he was like,
chiropractor.
but no way. Had me going. but what that saying's tying into is like, if the young person only knew, right? And then it's like if the old person had the energy to do it. Right. So it's like if you could take everything, your wisdom from when you were old and interject it into your youth, like imagine the person that you could be. And I think that this is one of those opportunities where it's like, dude, you can flash forward, man, and like you can see your life playing out, but you can also change it now. So what are you going to do with the time that you have left?
Yeah, I remember saying that when I was how ignorant was this to say when I was 20, 19 or 20, and I remember this very distinctively with my roommate at the time. Just thinking like, man, don't you wish you knew now, you know, or don't you wish back then we knew what we know now?
Yes, that's
and that was when I was 20. You don't know a fucking thing when you're 20. You're dumb as hell when you're 20.
Yep.
And I was just thinking, I was like, man, would it be cool to be like, yeah, back to high school, but knowing what I know now is 20?
Yes.
That's so stupid, but yeah.
It's true, man. And like we keep, and that's the Groundhog's Day, dude.
Yeah.
It's so stupid, but like you do the same thing at 30.
Men are lucky that way. Men are lucky that way because of the way we age.
Yeah.
And especially if you're, you know what I mean? Do I need to go down further?
No. It's
you know what I
true,
mean?
man.
Like, we age better, and if you're not married and you're a single man and you've got this, I'm not going to go any further than that.
But it's true, man. It's because our biological clocks are different.
Right.
Right. So like we can pump out a baby at any time in our life. Right.
Right.
But women hit that point where it's like, oh, maybe they never wanted one, but all of a sudden their biological clock's ticking. It's like, I got to do this now.
My eggs are running out. I'm about to hit that time.
And that ties into just the way that we're built, man. And so you're right. You know, I think that
Or those guys that are older, but they understand how the younger woman thinks, and maybe they want a younger gal. And they're like, oh.
And that ties, that ties into a lot of psychology as well. So,
of course.
So as men get older, right, like we're still driven by
There's a
our
lot of people
primal
that
instincts.
that are getting in trouble for that. Like a lot of comics and stuff that are getting in trouble for preying on these younger
But here you go, man. So it ties back into
Grooming.
psychology. Absolutely. So it ties into psychology. As we get older, you know, men, what we want is we want to continue to fertilize, right? Like we just want, it's in our instincts to pump out kids. It's like, how many mates can I have? Because that means my seed's out there. What women want is they get
Survival.
older security, right? And so they just want to make sure that they're taken care of. And so in today's day and age, what that means, you know, security means financially.
Mm-hmm.
Like make sure that you're going to take care of me and my kids,
Mm-hmm.
right? And for men, what that means is like, you know, I'm going to go, maybe I was married the first time, but like, you know, that didn't work out. And so I'm going to die.
Were you married?
I've never been married.
Oh, I was married.
There you go. You know, so maybe you can speak to this as well.
Yeah,
you know,
but
I'm
I
sure-
won't.
Yeah, okay, there you go. But you know what I mean? So it's all what we're after, right?
Right.
So like if it means that I, as a male, want to get my seed out into the world, I have to look for women who can give birth, right? Who can like actually produce that seed. And as you get older, like we were talking about biological clocks, it's like, well, at a certain point, you know, the biology on the women's side of thing, it just doesn't work anymore. So that's why I think that we see older men with younger women. You know, it's part of it, among other things.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
I mean, older men with younger women, again, that also ties into security. So it's like sugar daddies. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So-
I've had some sugar mamas on the podcast where they talk about having a sugar daddy. And a lot of times they really... And you got to take the information you're getting with a grain of salt from the sugar babies.
Mm-hmm.
That they're like, oh, I don't have to have sex with them. I don't have to do anything with them. I don't necessarily quite believe it. But they're like, but a lot of them just say, oh, no, I don't have to do anything. They give me money just to give them company.
Sure.
I'm like, all right.
Right?
I don't 100% buy it, but all right.
Believe what you want kind of thing. At the
Mhm.
same time, you know, as men get older, we also have to deal with things like erectile dysfunction.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, hymns. Hymns.com.
But yeah, man, you know, I think that this is the great thing about coming on here is we can get into sprawling conversations about all sorts of shit. Like this started with like, how did I go from being a journalist to getting into 3D printing?
Right.
You know, and here we are going into like dissecting like, why do older men like younger women? That kind of thing.
That's why it's the best podcast in Kansas City.
Damn straight.
It's not some infomercial like the one that won it last year.
Oh. Dude, shots fired.
Shots fired. I'm not going to say their name, but God, I cannot believe they won. I tried to, you know, the podcast that won it last year. I have beef with them, and it's been well documented, I think. So
Okay.
I won't go into that.
Nice.
But however, I was like, I'm going to go listen to one of their episodes. I just did this maybe 3 days ago.
Okay.
I was like, I want to listen to one of their latest episodes just to see if my opinion has changed. Has their podcast grown? Has it gotten better?
Yeah.
I know that it gets good numbers. It gets good engagement. It's probably, it looks like it's probably a bigger, more popular podcast than mine, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I'm going to check it out.
Your talent, that's like scouting out the talent. You know what I mean? Or competition.
More or less just seeing what else is out. Who are my peers right now?
Yes.
So I'm going to listen to it. And I listened to it. And again, this is the same thing that I did over a year ago when I listened to it. And I'm not being a hater because I gave it an open. I looked at it and it was like 12 minutes. I made it 12 minutes before I was like, I can't listen anymore.
Yeah.
It's just not good. But what I did was, because it turned into like, it just seemed like a big commercial. Like they were just promoting other Kansas City businesses.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe that's why it's popular. Maybe all these
Could be.
businesses. I don't know. Whatever.
Sure.
Good for you.
That's like an infomercial, like you were saying.
That's
you know,
what it felt
an
like.
advertorial.
I was like, let me fast forward a whole bunch till I get to the interview of the person I wanted to hear the interview from. And then it finally got to it, and it's just a real basic, whatever. I'm not going to critique their interview style or whatever, but just the whole thing, I made it 12 minutes.
There you go.
And I don't understand. But having said that, I don't know that people will make it past 12 minutes of my podcast.
There you
either.
go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
everything's for just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not for other people. So, but for me, I don't understand it.
And I think that that's, again, one of the beautiful parts of the world and the time we live in is like there's content out there for everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
You know?
I'm glad that they're doing good.
That's
I'm glad
right.
that there are people that are listening. I'm glad that they're getting theirs and that they're bringing eyes and ears to the Kansas City podcast world.
Yep.
I think that's awesome, and I think it's great for them to do.
It was like what you were saying, man. Like when the tide rises,
Yeah.
all the ships rise as well.
Right.
I botched that, by the way.
No, you didn't. It was perfect. So any of you guys that listen to that, come on over here. I'll entertain you.
That's right, man. You know, and again, like I think that this may be uncharted territory where it's like podcasters interviewing podcasters. And
I
then
love
like,
that.
There you go, man. Because
I
it's
love
like it's like a cross examination, or it's like how do it's also connecting other communities, right? Like so people that wouldn't necessarily
Or you
listen
can start
to you.
podcast beef.
Yeah,
Which is always because I am a hip hop fan,
Yep.
and I do
Biggie
love
Tupac.
beef. I do love hip hop beef, and I've got podcast beef out there, like the podcast I'm talking about now.
Mhm.
I'm not mentioning their name because I don't
Mhm.
want to give them that clout. I don't
That's
want to
right.
give them that.
They're like Voldemort, like he who shall not. Be
But it's
mentioned.
been I've gone in. I have another podcast. I was on their podcast.
Okay.
And they were also nominated for Best Podcast last year with me.
Nice.
And we had a good time. Everything was good. When Kobe died, I made a tweet. I don't tweet. I made
A post.
I made a post. I don't remember what social media. It probably would have been Facebook.
Sure.
Nothing egregious. I
Sure.
just post all I did on the day he died. I posted a picture of Michael Jordan
Mhm.
that said, "Still the greatest of all time and still alive."
Oh wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
I like to troll.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do, man.
And I'm a Michael Jordan fan. He's
Yeah.
better than Kobe. Fuck you. He is. He just is. Kobe would admit that too.
Yeah.
Whatever. Kobe's not even top 5 probably. Anyways, so I posted and he got so offended and
Yeah.
so pissed. He's like, "How dare you talk shit on the dead ball?" I go, "I didn't say anything about Kobe.
Sure.
It just happened to be that day. But I didn't say anything. I didn't slander him, anything." And then he went hard. This podcast that I was on went hard at me. And I was like, "Don't be a pussy."
Yeah.
I go, "Stop being I made a joke,
Yeah.
but I didn't mention him. I didn't slander anybody. Blah, blah, lighten up."
Yeah.
Like, it sucks. But we all die. There were 7 other people that died on that helicopter. You're getting pissed off because I made one little, not even a joke, but you know what I mean.
Sure. Absolutely, man. And you were also looking for a reaction, right? That's
Right.
what trolls are looking for. It's
Exactly.
like,
And it worked.
there
and,
you go.
And he got so pissed off. "Fuck you. You're a piece of shit. I'm going to delete." And then he posted shit on his social media about me and about
Yeah.
what a piece of shit I am. And, you know, and then I started getting in these little wars with other people. I was like, "Oh, you're not a Michael Jordan fan?" Oh,
Yeah.
or it's like, "Oh, you're a LeBron fan."
Yeah. There you go.
And anyways, he was like, "Fuck you. I'm deleting your episode when you were on my podcast."
Oh, wow.
He deleted my episode
Yeah.
because he got so pissed off about it.
When I think, again, man, this is almost like an allegory or a reflection of the times that we live in, man, is like we are so quick to be emotional about like the simplest things
Yeah.
or, you know, a post or, you know, somebody's opinion. And we got to just stop and think, man. You know, stop and think like, is this a troll? Like, is this what we're looking for? But what you're getting at, man, also is like, you know, that reaction. I think that it was Bruce Lee. He said, you know, if you allow people to control your emotions, then they can control you.
Right.
You know, so like you got to learn to control your emotions in these kind of situations.
Well, yeah, the funny thing is about this guy and his podcast and his whole branding is thoughtfulness.
Oh, there you go.
Like, he's all about self-awareness and thoughtfulness. That's what he prides himself. I'm like, how the fuck did I just get you
Dude, because even Buddha gets pissed.
with a Michael Jordan post? I just got one. You're all about mindfulness and thoughtfulness. He's like a CrossFit gym owner.
Yeah.
I got you.
There you go.
I got you.
That's right, man.
Go back to the drawing board.
Uh-huh.
Go meditate. Hey, 10 minutes longer, son, because I got you.
That's right. You know, and I think, dude, chalk it up as a win.
Oh, I do. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. I still, here I am bringing it up now. I still laugh about it. I think it's fucking hilarious.
You know, and I bet that, you know, I bet we all have those instances where it's like, I got my rival. You know what I mean? Like, I got the competition.
I'm motivated by competition, and I do like having rivals. I like having I don't know. I get motivated by competition.
Dude, it's that
And
competitive
so if you
spirit.
and in the same instance, I do want to be friends with every podcaster in the city.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to show me any kind of slight or any kind of dickiness, all right, I'll take that as competition and I'll go at you.
And people love drama, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's
Yeah.
why Biggie and Tupac, you know, at their peak.
That's how I look. Yeah.
With their beef, dude, it excelled their careers in that short
And that
amount
was,
of time.
and I did take that when he started with blocking me and shit. I amped it up even more.
Yeah.
And made a bunch of different posts doing more trolling. I'm like, what's that saying? Don't let a what is it? Make a crisis go to waste or something like that.
Yeah.
Or any promotion is good what is that?
Yeah, but I think both of those, right? So like every crisis is also an opportunity, but like you know, any
promotion is any attention is attention, negative or
Yes.
positive. So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, you want to? I'll start if it's negative to some people and it puts them off. That's fine. But people do like drama. I was like, I'll start a little war with you. Who doesn't want to see a little local podcast war? So I'll feed into it like a little bit, like I'm playing like a UFC fighter
Yeah.
or a WWE fighter. Like I'm gonna put this up a little bit. Yeah,
Trash talk.
Yeah, a little trash talk. I'll throw it out there.
That's
yeah,
right.
that's right. State your line, you little punks.
Yeah, man, and people eat it
Well,
up.
you got
though.
Rich Daddy that gets you hooked up with Booker. What's Cory Booker?
Yeah.
No, not who's this? Who's the mayor now?
Quentin Lucas.
Quentin Lucas. Oh, your little Rich Daddy hooks you up with Quentin Lucas. Good for you. State your line. I'm gonna start some beef with
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
There you go, man. You know, I think that it's whatever gets us out of bed in the morning, man. Whatever also helps us put pants on, whatever that means. You know, like what's your purpose?
Mm-hmm. I'd rather have someone help me take my pants off.
Yeah.
However.
Yeah, man. What else do you want to talk about?
That's it, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how else do we end? I mean, I don't want to take up your entire day.
Here we go. Let's end on this. I got a question for you.
All right. I
You
mean,
know,
but I'll keep going. I don't want to take. Yeah, you're over here. I don't want to waste your day.
I feel like we've gotten a lot of really good
Can I just
stuff
say
on
I
the
do
table.
have beard envy?
Yeah.
Sometimes, a lot of times I go and people love my beard and comment on my beard. I go next to you somewhere. No one's looking at my beard. They're looking at that beautiful thing.
Right?
Do you use a beard iron? Do you straighten it?
Yeah, blow dryer.
Okay. All right, good. Thank you. That makes me feel much better. By the way, I was like, that's not natural. Please don't tell me that's natural. It's too pretty to be natural.
That's awesome, man. It's a lot of hard work in that beard.
Yes.
You know, maybe we can end with something like, you know, again, I don't want to get like too Disney and optimistic and all that fun stuff, but
Oh my God, are you going to give me $1 million?
Yeah.
Is this my retirement? Oh my God, I'm ready for this. Come on, Oprah, I'm ready. Yes.
what do you want the world to look like post-COVID? You know, like what do we want that to be like? Do we just want to go back to normal? You know, because you get a lot of that.
What is normal? A lot of people are
Yeah.
arguing or theorizing, not theorizing, but just speculating. What is normal? Do we want to go back to normal?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't thought about. That's a great question.
Yeah.
What is post-COVID? Because I do not take COVID extremely seriously.
Sure.
Because I'm not letting it affect me. I'm looking at it as the flu.
Mm-hmm.
I do not want the flu. I fucking hate the flu.
Mhm.
I hate being sick. I'm a bitch.
Yeah.
I am a bitch when it comes to being sick.
Yeah, we all
I
are.
hate it. I just want to crawl in a little ball, put on a blanket, throw on some TV, and just get through it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll eat, maybe not, but I hope you know what I mean. I hate it.
Yeah. We
But
all
I-
have that.
But I deal with it. I'm 40 years old. I deal with being sick.
Yeah.
I don't know any other way to handle it right now than just thinking of it as it's just another virus that's similar to the flu. Probably going to be worse. I don't want to, if I get it, I'm going to quarantine myself for 2 weeks. And that's going to be the hardest part. Being bored and fending for myself and depending on hopefully I have some friends
Mhm.
that'll bring me over some groceries and leave them on the porch or something.
Sure.
Hopefully I would have that.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like I can't let it really affect me other than that because I can't control anything. It's a virus.
Sure.
Humans have been when we're humans, we're animals. We deal with this kind
Nature.
of shit. It's a virus that we didn't even get into. and I'm not going to go down conspiracy or any kind of thing like that, but it's a lab created virus that it's out, and we're probably not going to have a virus for it anytime soon. So just assume you're going to get it.
Yeah.
And the best way to combat this is being healthy.
Sure.
Take vitamin D. Lots of vitamin D helps. And the healthier you are, it really affects obese people.
D3 vitamins.
You gotta take your vitamin D, and you have to use this time to get in shape if you can. Protect yourself. I don't hear anybody claiming or talking about this. They want to talk about masks. They want to talk about how Trump's fault is this and that. They want to talk about political shit. I don't hear anybody saying, "Hey, it hurts fat people. If you are obese, it's gonna really be hard for you." Get yourself in shape.
Yeah.
Lose as much. Get in shape, and you will. The death rate is less than 1%.
Which also has added benefits, if you have other health issues. like
Right.
being overweight.
Yeah. I mean, use this as an excuse because getting in shape just helps you overall, and it sucks. And I know a lot of people think of it as fat shaming or health shaming or whatever. Okay, fine. But if you know you're out of shape, and then you have to be fine with knowing if this gets you, it's gonna wreck you.
Sure.
It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
You'll probably get through it, but it's gonna be a lot worse than, again, getting that to discipline and just taking a couple months. I'm just getting information, trying to get yourself informed. How can you get yourself healthier? Because if not now, when? If a pandemic isn't going to make you try to get to a healthier spot for you and your loved ones, then when?
So maybe like Ryan's post-COVID world looks like something
Healthier
that's
people.
healthier and more informed
Right.
individuals, right? So that way we can combat the next pandemic that much stronger.
Right. And again, I think just being in shape, it's hard. It sucks.
Yeah,
I work
dude.
out, and I've taken a couple weeks off, and every day I kick myself in the ass for not going to the gym. I'm like, God damn it, I'm getting skinnier. I'm getting worse. And I feel like shit about it.
Sure.
But if we got to a place where more people were healthier, it's just a healthier society is a happier society.
There you go.
It helps with depression. It helps with anxiety. Having something difficult to do and work towards helps your mind and body.
Yeah.
And it sucks. And discipline sucks.
Yeah.
But getting that discipline, again, the tide rises all ships. If everybody's more disciplined and healthier and can do all that shit, you just have a better society. It's a healthier society. It's one where less money is going to different programs than you need it to be.
Yeah.
Your insurance goes lower. Your health insurance goes lower because there's less heart attack. There's less heart disease.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody talking about this stuff when it comes to COVID. Like, get healthier.
Sure.
You got all this time.
Yeah. There you go.
So, yeah, I guess I would say what I want post-COVID is a healthier society. People that take their health more serious.
And that's great, man. You know,
know?
that starts on that individual level, and it's that whole, like, instead of looking at the macro, go micro, and how can I become a better version of myself, and what does that look like? And then by doing that, it has almost like, again, the domino effect, because if I'm doing it and it inspires other people to do it, then we all benefit, right? So it's not just about me, it's the collective.
All right. But then there's that whole discipline argument. And then here I am drinking fucking Buffalo Trace, getting drunk.
Yeah.
And, the 300% in alcohol sales. People people lack discipline.
And dude, it goes both ways. And again, that spectrum exists in all of us,
Right.
man. So it's not like, oh, he was just born disciplined, or she was just born disciplined. It's
We'll see what happens.
Disciplined.
I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens with this whole COVID. I'm always curious when shit happens. I'm always anxious to see what the future holds. When 9/11 happened, I remember the day.
Yeah.
It's like, what happens? What does this mean now? Are we going to war now, or is this what's going to happen? Everything's going to change. And then, sure enough, a whole lot of shit changed.
Stuff,
so,
yeah.
are we going to look like China?
Sure.
5-6 years ago or longer, 10 years ago, you would see pictures out of China with people walking around the streets with masks on.
Yeah.
And we would always be like, must be all that smog.
Or SARS,
Whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it just looked weird.
Sure.
I'm glad we don't have to do that.
Sure.
Are we to a point now where that's what the world's going to look like, where everywhere we go, we're wearing masks?
Dude,
I hate that.
So I view it in a way where if this is the reality that we live in, then let's have fun with it. You know what I mean? Then who can come up with the craziest mask of the day?
Right.
You know, like what else can we do to make this
I've embraced
tolerable?
I've been embracing it.
You know, it just kind of is what it is, man. And if that's one way to combat it, then that's what we use. You know, again, personally, my whole thing is just the scientific method. If that's where we're at right now, and this is where the facts are pointing me, then that's what I'm going to listen to. And the best thing I can do instead of getting into a debate about going back and forth is just acknowledge, you know, kind of lead by example, and then I guess just cross my fingers and hope for the best kind of thing. But yeah, man, my post-COVID world looks like utopia. You know, again, I'm going to use this crisis as an opportunity to wish for the best and prepare for the worst.
Well, we're going to need a few billion people to die off until we get it.
Dude, you know, it's
we need the meteor to hit.
This is the meteor.
Oh, we need a real meteor.
Yeah. A
legit,
tangible giant
like
rock.
A fucking giant rock.
Outer space.
Ugh.
Speaking of which, so going back to, you know, all this content coming out, Lupe Fiasco dropped an album today, and the opener is this great excerpt from, I think, some speech somewhere. But anyways, the second song that ties into it is Dinosaurs, and he does an analogy of, like, you know, time of dinosaurs and like kind of where we're living now. But going off that meteor example, you know, it's I think that this is our metaphorical meteor.
Well, we've been through this before. The Spanish flu of 1918, 17 and 18, and the plague.
History repeats itself.
Yeah, we've gone through these types of things before, and we've gone through meteors before. And I've said before on the podcast, and I do think that the world does need a reset.
Yeah.
Like I said it earlier, like there are too many people. Like there's too many people on this earth. And it's weird and it sucks. But it just seems like we need a reset button. Like humankind needs a giant meteor to wipe out like 90% of people.
Okay.
And start back with 10%. And just get back to hunting and gathering. But then why? Then what's even the point? Because they're just going to evolve to a place of more organization and capitalism and health insurance and presidents and kings and just corruption and just...
And that
it's just the disease of humankind. I guess maybe we're just evolve. Hopefully that's not going to happen. I don't know.
To me, that ties into reincarnation, right? So, but on a societal level. Right, so like the society dies, and then we start over with like a small select few, or Adam and Eve.
It's happened before. The Earth was down to like 10,000 people before.
So that's what I'm saying. So what I'm getting at is then we haven't learned our lesson. You know, I don't.
Or is this just a natural progression of evolution or Homo sapiens?
Exactly, or is it the final stage of the simulation, and you know we just. The game's
maybe that's
over.
Where we're getting to while we're getting these aliens. I've theorized that a few times before too, as well as the Tic Tac UFO and these different UFO sightings and that we're getting is maybe that we are in a simulation and there's one computer running everything, and then it's kind of like that's like a mouse cursor, and it just broke through into our reality, our dimension, but it's really just the computer simulation that runs the whole thing, and it's some dude just like scrolling around on his mouse, and it's just
that's not bad, dude. I haven't heard of that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, right.
It could be absolutely, man.
And I thought with the coronavirus too, I was thinking. Like, there's one dude that runs our simulation. If this simulation theory is real and our existence is a computer program, much like the Matrix, there's just one person running this computer. I was like, I wonder if he's, like, taking a break and his, like, intern is, like, taking over. And the guy's like, look, man, I got to take a break. You've seen me do this for years. Just run the simulation. You don't have to do anything. When that window comes up, hit the X, and that's all you have to do. Don't press anything. Don't search the web. Nothing. Yeah. He's like, no, duh. I've watched this for years. I know how to run the Earth simulation. It's detrimental. I won't trust me. I won't do shit. Well, the lead guy leaves, and he's like, God damn it, I'm really horny. Horny always wins. You know, he's like, let me get some of that, that galactic porn that we got on this simulation here, this simulation computer.
Yeah.
He start looking at this porn that he's in his reality. All of a sudden, the simulation that runs Earth gets a virus. And it's
There
the
you go.
coronavirus. He's like, oh, and now red lights are going off. And the original simulation runner comes running in. What the hell did you do?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's pulling his pants up, putting his belt together. I don't know. It's some kind of virus hit. I didn't press anything. God damn it. No, this is fucking coronavirus. Do you know what the kind of hell you just unleashed on this world?
Yeah. That could be the sequel to Weird Science.
They're already Weird Science. Yeah, right?
Yeah, man. Again, I think imagination is important. I think that, with all this seriousness going on and all these, just again, the world that we're living in, we need to balance it out with some humor, right? So like when we're having these big discussions, whether it's here on a podcast or like in person,
Gallows humor, nothing else, right?
There we go.
Like in the gallows when you're waiting to get hung.
Oh, okay. There you go.
People would try to lighten the mood, make jokes, or like
Yes.
when you're in the foxhole, you're making jokes to lighten up the mood. It's gallows humor.
Okay, I'd never heard about that before, but that's exactly what I mean, man. It's like, let's break this tension. Like, let's think of something funny or tell a joke or,
Right.
Let's lighten things up just a little bit, to take that pressure off of the situation.
Absolutely.
So do you have any good jokes to end this with?
Why can't you hear? It's a caveman joke because I'm a Neanderthal.
Yes.
Why can't you hear a pterodactyl urine in the bathroom?
Why?
Urinate in the bathroom because the P is silent. Pterodactyl.
Starts with the P. PT.
PT. The P is
Nice.
silent.
Nice. I like that. Okay, so I got one for you going off of like dad jokes. So what did the sun, and so what I mean by sun is there's the sun and the moon. Right. So like that big ass star that makes
S-U-N.
things hot. Yes, S-U-N.
The star.
What did the sun do to Bobby, Keith, and Kevin?
I don't know.
It made Bobby sweat. No. Damn it. It made Bobby Brown,
Keith Sweat.
Keith Sweat, and Kevin Bacon.
Okay, nice.
There we go. Damn it. Every time I have a good joke, like I jump the gun, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to kill.
It's hard.
I got this. It is, man. I always jump the gun.
It's like the
and
wide
stutter or
receiver
something.
that has the touchdown pass,
Yeah.
and then he looks away at the
Yeah.
last second and fumbles. You fumbled.
I fumbled, dude. I fumbled.
Fabian, I love you anyways.
Thank you, man.
3DHQ.
Yes.
You said earlier that you were excited and so happy to come back on the show and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. I'm more happy to have you on the show. Like, this is so much cooler than you being on. Like, this is awesome. Like, I appreciate you taking your time out. Like I said, you're like one of the smartest people I know, and to get you, it's an honor to have you on my show, man. I appreciate you.
Dude, I have a lot of fun, man. So thank
Yeah.
you for all the kind words. I'm grateful for that, dude. And I can't wait to come back here next time and see what we come up with.
Good. We're going to be rich with my postal device.
Damn straight.
Anything you want to say before we hit the close button and get the F out of here?
Nah, man, just take care, be well, and we'll see you tomorrow.
3dhq.com.
That's right. 3DH.
Get yourself.
I'm sorry.
Let's pimp this shit, man. Come on.
So the website is actually 3dhqkc.com.
3dhqkc. 3D. Hey, can we come up with a rap with that?
Hey, we can.
3dhqkc. There we go. All right, we'll come up with something. That's it, everybody. We're drunk. Buffalo Trace, thank you again for sponsoring this episode. Bye.